Okay.
It's time to record.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure out Endr's ribbons in her freaking hair later because I can't.
Yeah, the wig is super cute though.
Thank you.
No,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
super cute.
Thank you.
And it's perfect because this is about the length of the hair that I actually gave Endr. So.
Perfect.
Oh. Which gets him good, and it is. I'm gonna roast you so hard. Too late.
Not like this.
Oh, you
He's
know,
only a crush. Why you have to be mad? Very nice. That's gonna be the hardest one.
Also, after we figure out what we're doing for an IRL stream of D&D here at Clutch, it's so much work. I figured we can like rush it and figure out maybe the one-shot campaign setting that I was given, and I can hand it over to whoever would be the best DM for that situation, and we can add one more online stream to this channel so that, you know.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's like monstrosities is the theme of the one shot, so everybody gets to play like, I can't remember if it was monstrosities from like the sewers or something, but it sounds hilarious and I'm excited.
Cool. Yeah, no, that sounds badass.
Nice.
Sweet. Yeah, I figure we'll get like what, 5 people plus DM?
Sure.
Growing out that stubble, though, kid.
Not on purpose.
Well, we'll figure.
Well,
we can figure out the day after this, like a day.
Sure. Sounds good. Are you guys ready to begin? Or are you nearing ready? Or do you have anything you need to do?
I think I am prepared.
I'm ready.
I'm also doing spells wrong.
Yeah, I always do spells wrong. That's why, like I always want to play a caster class, but in reality, I should probably stick to like fighter or rogue.
Right. Well, the only thing is like I was trying to do it off memory. Usually, I look it up when I level up, but my prepared spells for the day is my druid level plus my modifier. I thought it was half my druid level plus my modifier, so I was sitting there going, why do I not have this many spells? And now I'm like, oh.
Got it.
Get it.
Monk is super cool.
Yeah. Punching sorcerer, I like it.
Yeah. For sure. Okay.
Wait, before we properly start it, like hold this in place. I drew this, and it's essentially the encounter where Zogle's dad comes back, and Zogle's like, "Don't stay away from my acquaintances."
Stay away from me.
Aw, look at you tall boys! Oh my goodness!
Look how cute we are.
So cute.
Yeah, and like, so essentially, this is Kyr'nes in his human form for the half a second that he's in it.
Mm.
Then there's Blue, really tiny.
Aww.
Yeah,
I love it.
as I was drawing this, I was like, I'm thinking about the height differences and stuff, and I'm like, everyone is 6 feet plus, and then there's little Endr, who's slow 5'2".
Yeah, 7 feet of pure gross. Apparently disgusting.
Matt, did I get the refined fanciness that Zogle has? Good.
Yes.
Good. I also
So
have to
refined and also not aware.
Good stuff. Okay, so last week,
somehow all miraculously survived.
somehow you guys survived because you realized that you should probably kill the spellcasters before you kill the meat sacks. That might have been important, maybe.
I like your kids like, somehow you survived. Don't worry, I'll try harder.
I'll try harder next time.
I'll try harder next time.
Well, you guys are level 5, so I can try harder.
No. That was
Which
hard
is
enough
great.
as it is.
Because now we have utility spells. Well, if you're a druid.
Well, now you have a healer.
Also true.
Among
I,
other
instead of
things.
taking a level in wizard, took a level in cleric. Because the entire time Endr was praying to God that entire time in her head.
Oh, also a question for you, kid. I was looking at the fee ritual caster.
Mhm.
Does that mean that you can subclass without subclassing if you take that feat? Because what if you just take ritual caster wizard?
I don't think that's how it works. I don't know. I have to read it. But
Because from what I was reading, you pick a class of, and then you can cast, like, you can write as in ritual casts. So if you pick wizard, everything can be written like that, if I remember correctly.
I have to look at it.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't. Mike Merles, it's important. It's important. I'm disappointed.
Failures.
I feel like Aspen was supposed to remind you to do that.
My microphones. Well, thank God we didn't actually get started, I guess.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've been capturing this whole time. Good job, OBS. Now the future can hear me. Hopefully I didn't say anything important.
The future can now hear me. I love that. Makes me very happy.
That's what the recording is.
Right? But as a streamer, the
ears of the
future
future.
can always hear me. I'm so sorry, future.
So, last we left off, our party of intrepid adventurers returned to the city of Belwyn. Thanks.
Duvers, man.
Oh, I
New
was
York.
hoping you'd say Duloc.
Duloft is the perfect place.
Let us lay them down. Yeah.
Keep your shoes off the grass. Shine your shoes,
Wipe your face.
Okay.
New York.
You return to Belwyn, which is where Zogle made a deal with a hag coven to bring them your friend Azure, who they have beef with, and no one really knows why, because no one really talked about the hags before you actually got into their lair. And now you can't ask him because he's not here.
He's a bit busy T-posing in the corner.
He's T-posing in the corner. You guys finished that fight, and he like praised the sun, and then it just like flat out.
Alright, hold on 1 sec. I'm gonna get out and come back in because everybody's voices are sounding, but your mouths are moving as if it's some sort of kung fu movie.
I don't know. There we go.
Alright, let's try that again.
Hello.
You know, you could
everyone looks
enable
better.
virtual camera output. That's what it says on our end. It's like, hey, tell them to enable virtual camera output, and you could.
So that way we can see you. We'd like to see you without opening your stream, Matt.
I don't like hearing myself twice. It's bad enough to hear myself once.
I feel that.
It's a where and a what and a who and a
Like,
It says to enable virtual camera output,
start XSplit broadcaster.
I don't know where the dick that is, so I'm not real interested.
You know, I could learn you, but I'm halfway across the country.
Yeah, I ain't gonna learn
Well,
nothing.
not quite halfway. he's
Yeah,
only
where
about
they are, it's
half.
more of a quarter. Where they are, it's more of a quarter of the way across country. Anyway,
It's
story.
fine. In between you and I, it's fine.
So, you fought the hags and their two flesh golems, lovingly named
You
Azure
wimps.
and Zogle. Upon defeating the hags, the flesh golems ran away, and they will never be important to the plot again, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. Basically the only thing that happened, because it happened before I called the session off, is that Zogle just handed Endr the head of a hag for
Yep.
her potion. So
Gotta go give that.
so what are y'all up to?
So are we just like in the port of Belwyn still? Like, instead of
Yeah.
walking into the cave, we actually kind of walked out and we've just been standing in water.
Something like that. Yeah.
Totally imagine after the epic ripping off of the head, Zogle's gonna lay down. I'm gonna take a nap.
I'm gonna take a nap right
Yeah.
here.
Okay, good night.
I think Kyr'nes, as he's coming down, you know, from the adrenaline rush, he's kind of realizing what he said in the cave, and he turns to the party and says, "Listen, I have some things to tell you, so I have a story to tell, and well, here is probably not the best place. Next time we're away from potential prying eyes, I have something to fill you all in on. I haven't been entirely forthright about some things. It'll all make sense. It's nothing bad. Well, mostly anyway." Then he just kind of pats Zogle on the shoulder, like, "Yeah, you take a nap, buddy."
Oh, cute puppy! I'm so sorry.
Zogle can turn into a lot of things. That is not something he'll turn into.
No, cute puppy!
I'll take easily distracted for 500, Alex.
Hi, did you mean also Endr? No, I feel like Endr's just kind of like, oh, or I can just rip out my headphones. It's fine.
Anyway,
It's on the
it
wig.
seems
It
like
is stressing me out.
it sounds like Endr has something to say. She's a little
I didn't know
stuck.
her spirit was in my wig. I feel like after, like, it's kind of like she's like taking in the fact that, like, oh, okay, so they're actually like outside. Like, she's clearly like noticed it already, but she's like taking it in. She's just like, I think she like not anywhere near Zogle, but she's like just where she's standing. She's just like, she just falls to her knees like in the water, and she's like, ugh.
Yeah. And actually, Endr, as you lay there in the sand, as
She's laying down like in the shallows, and like,
oh yeah.
half of her is in the water, half of her is not. She doesn't care.
Yo,
Yeah.
same.
As you lay there and the surf kind of comes in and moves your hair and blows back out and comes in, a sense of sort of
That's her phone.
Continue. That's my cell phone. Continue.
You can always count on the four of us tracking you down. Sorry,
That's my boyfriend's picture, by the way.
Beautiful.
Cute.
Tell him he's a nerd. Anyway.
I'm not gonna answer right now, but continue. Sorry.
Okay, no, you're fine. This sort of sense of serenity comes over you, and you're still aware of all your surroundings, but they sort of fade into the background, and you're aware that there's a presence that is that sort of sets your mind at ease, and you hear a voice, the voice of Panacea, and she says, Endr, I heard you calling out as you fought the hags. Are you all right?
Okay, outside of Endr question.
Yeah, what's up?
Is it one of those deals where I have to respond with my noggin, or do I have to respond this and everyone's gonna think I'm crazy?
You can respond with your noggin. This is a very much in your head conversation.
Okay, cool. So like Endr, like as she's just kind of like letting like the surf go like
Mhm.
I can do that now because I missed having long hair. Which I also got a haircut, which you guys will see in a little bit. But I feel she's like, I'm surprisingly fine now. But I'm a bit shaken up.
Why did you
In
call
my
out to
head.
me? Yeah.
What did you say? Sorry, I only have a
No,
headphone in one ear because
You're okay. She says, why did you call out to me?
Well, partially for my own health, but mostly because all of my friends are in danger, and you're really the only god that I feel connected to.
I see. I'm sorry that I did not help you against those creatures. But through this act of faith, you have earned my assistance. Search through your book. It will give you the answers that you need.
And now we see her looking for book.
Nice. Nice. So are you gonna pull it out while you lay there?
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm not gonna let it get wet.
Okay. She says, and remember that help is always available if you ask for it.
Thank you.
And the presence of Panacea fades. And you're a cleric now. Hey.
I already have cleric stuff prepared, so awesome. Subclassing as cleric now. Yay!
Yay!
It's
You're
official.
a life cleric, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, life domain cleric.
Cool. Well, perfect.
No, she's part of like dark evil domain.
You
Dude,
tell.
these clerics are awesome, though.
You could have worshipped Umberlee. She's my favorite D&D goddess.
Oh, is that the
bitch
Spoder?
queen.
Is that the Spoder one?
No, she's the bitch queen.
Oh, fair.
Maybe if I do a drow.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, first off, Zogle's gonna do one of them, picking up his beetle and being like, "Go tell my mom we killed it, and take this with you, and take the medallion of, take one of the many medallions I'm assuming these bitches have, and then I'm gonna look through their pockets.
Which medallion?
Just something proving that they're dead. I guess not
Okay,
nothing
so like
important.
like a trophy.
Yeah, to make
Is
sure
it-
my family knows.
Okay, so are you going to search their bodies for a trophy then?
Oh, absolutely. I'm searching the shit out of them. That's just a little bony that I
Okay.
would like.
Wow, I'm almost done with this entire thing.
Nicely done.
Enjoy that pee.
It's aloe. I wish it was tea.
That's
I
not
might
what
fill this
said.
up with iced tea though.
Yeah, so you take a like a little hag trinket off of one of their bodies, just something made of bone and hair and grossness. But as you give it to your drone, you notice that the ends are starting to like smoke, the ends of the hair. And Zogle, where do you keep your totem that you got from the hags?
I figured just in a little pocket somewhere because it was just a little thing.
Okay, yeah. Well, wherever you keep that totem, you start to feel heat.
Up. I'm gonna pull it out of my pocket and like toss it. Oh no!
Yeah. As it hits the beach, it catches on fire and burns to ash.
Is there glass on the beach now? No.
There is not
Not
glass.
that
It
hot.
was not that hot. Zogle, you have lost your benefits from that totem.
No, the extra spell slots.
Unforge. You've leveled a few times since then. You'll be okay.
I know, but I like having an extra secondary spell slot.
I know. Not all of the hag's body like burns or whatever, but like their medallions kind of burn and shrivel and like any hints of their magic. Zogle, your hand, as you throw the medallion, it comes back to you. Excuse me, the medallion doesn't come back, but you bring your hand back, and it's wet with like blood and pus. And you flip to see where the hag stabbed you with her nail, and whereas before it was like this nasty blister, it's popped and is just like leaking now.
Oh, that's not gross.
Groovy.
Anyway, so that happens. You still wanted to search their bodies?
Yeah, I'll investigate. Maybe they had something on them that wasn't theirs, so it didn't burn.
Go ahead and make a check.
What are you drinking, kid?
It's brisk. It's
Nice.
delicious.
That's such a tiny can. I love it.
I know.
That's
Give me
adorable.
1 second.
Did you not have Roll20 open?
No, I did. I was just checking to see if my investigation went up, and then I remembered no,
No.
because I'm not trained.
Fair.
I got a 6.
You got a
I'm
6?
busy with pus.
You're busy with pus, yeah. Yeah, no, I
Too
mean,
busy
like,
staring at your hand.
it's a pretty alarming sight, to be fair. You find like 15 gold. And on the body of one of the hags, you didn't necessarily notice it in the battle, but she does have a very nice quarterstaff. It's the head of the staff is carved to look like a dragon head, and it has a red dragon scale in the forehead.
Hey, thanks, lady. You don't need this.
So, do you take it off her?
Yeah, this is gonna suck.
Okay. When you grab it, a voice fills your mind. Okay. And you hear
I'm gonna put it down because I don't want to listen. I don't like people.
Just picture that.
Endr, there's
Put it
something
down.
gross over here. Oh, and my arm is bleeding.
Hold on. Let me take out my character sheet because I did not have that open.
Hey, you might need that one.
Really, really, gee, I wouldn't have thought. Gonna go down to my stuff. I'm just gonna casually be holding my hair right now because I wasn't done braiding it. I still don't have a page on my thing that lets me write out my spells, but it's fine.
Oh, I forgot to send you that. Sorry.
You
Yep,
could do it on Roll20 if you are on a computer.
I'm on a computer.
While we
So
wait.
I'm gonna wander on over. I'm gonna like hear Zogle, kind of like pull myself like out of like my noggin a little bit, like and like I get up, my hair's just dripping everywhere, like all over my cloak. Like I don't even care. Like half of me is wet. I go over there. I grab his hand. I know you don't like this. Suck it up. Grab his hand. Uses cure wounds because now she can do that. Be like, there. That shit's cursed.
You're fine. That shit's cursed. Okay, let's move on.
She's tired. She almost died 3 times in that fight, I'll have you know. She's ready to sleep. She's at the end. She's burned the candle from both ends. She is done.
True enough. Zogle's gonna look over at other Dragon Boy and be like, hey, I found your, like, 27th cousin, 80th removed, or some bullshit here. Have this. Don't talk to it. And also, don't touch it. And also, it's gross.
And if what if I were to try and pick up this staff?
Do you pick up the staff?
I think out of curiosity, I wouldn't, and then I see the red dragon scale and I go, and pick it up.
You hear a voice speaking to you in Draconic, and it says, "Unhand me, you mongrel!"
Mongrel? Mind who you're speaking to.
You speak the language, but do you know the power of me, the Great Dragon Staff?
Well, why don't you show me? This could get interesting.
Sounds so intimidating.
You are not prepared. Put me down.
Can I actually make, like, an Arcana check on that?
Sure.
Like...
What do you get?
25.
25, yeah. So there are rooms.
Was I right? Is that shit cursed?
So there are runes on it. You know that these runes are a seal on a soul, which is held within the item. It is not cursed, but it does contain an entity. It's also a quarterstaff +1. So.
Oh.
Classy, alright.
Did you say that out loud? Like, well, I mean, obviously the quarterstaff +1 wouldn't make any sense, but, you know, stronger quarterstaff.
Like, yeah, do you fill us in on, like, oh, there's a soul in there?
Yeah, I think after Endr is just like, oh yeah, shit's cursed, she kind of turns back to it for a moment because she's like, oh, okay, I should actually, like, look at this for these idiots. Yeah, there's an actual thing in that, there's a soul in that, and it's also just a really strong staff, so.
Oh, great. I take
No
it
wonder.
back.
Hey! I wasn't done! It was
You're
talking
angry
at me!
Draconic.
I just ignore it. I'm just like, eh.
I wasn't done talking!
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna hit people with this.
I don't think it's gonna be happy about that.
I'm gonna hit you with it if you're not careful.
Well, I'm not gonna be happy about that!
It is... Zogle, it shouts at you just
Angry
it gets
Draconic.
increasingly angry Draconic.
I just pretend that it's Bristle and Thistle and basically ignore it.
Okay. Cool. And that is all that you find on the hag bodies, by the way, is just the 15 gold and...
By the way, I was bleeding everywhere and it's pustulant, so if you guys want to take a look, you should probably go look at that. But I'm keeping this.
Okay, I literally grabbed your hand and healed that. Did you miss that?
Yeah, you're healed. I mean, it's not a cleaning spell, obviously,
Yeah.
so it still look pretty messy, but
Can I do a
it
medicine
into
check?
the ocean.
it's closed. Yeah.
Can I do a medicine check?
Yeah, it'll hurt probably, but whatever.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, no, it stings, but you're okay.
I was gonna say, should I do a medicine check?
No, and honestly, no check needed. The skin that formed the blisters kind of washes away, and underneath it is just like fresh baby pink skin. So
That's actually a good point. What color am I?
that's up to you.
Well, I was actually reading up on.
Aren't Goliaths like traditionally kind of gray?
Well, Goliaths traditionally, but I was looking up on half Goliaths, and they're generally like more of like a pale color pigment, so like anywhere from like a lightish gray to like kind of like lightish human variation colors.
Perfect.
I'm fucking hot. I'm pale with black hair. Hell yeah!
Hell yeah.
I didn't know you were Percy Jackson.
I'm fucking sexy.
I mean, he can shape water.
You don't know you're beautiful.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so Zogle, if you wanted to send something to your mother, like you couldn't send like their medallions, but nothing made of hag seems to have burnt. So if you wanted to do something like that, or if you wanted to like, do something else. Hello?
Whoa?
Hello?
Zogle?
Oh, sorry. I was looking
Push
at
to
chat
talk.
and doing other stuff. Yeah, I mean, whatever we can send that's not going to burst into defuegos.
Okay, so, I mean, that basically consists of hag body parts.
Excellent! Gross, but excellent!
I'll take a
Oh,
finger.
the crooked fucking nail that cut me!
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's got skin and like blood under it. Not all of it is yours.
Skin.
But it's carryable by your drone, and it's definitely like it's pretty convincingly belonging to a hag. So
Oh, and to get it off, first I'm going to beat it with the stick and then realize that that's not going to be very functioning before I decide to chop it off.
when you use the stick to hit, it like screams at you.
Angry.
Shush you.
Can Kyr'nes tell what it's being angry about?
That is a good question.
From that
Can I
distance?
hear it?
No.
Okay.
Aw.
No, it does not have an audible voice. The voice is
Internal.
internal. Cool. So you send a fingernail, and your drone kind of like buzzes and whirs, and it's off.
Shuttle buddy.
Off you go. New.
Off you go.
Be free, little technology.
Cool.
Hey, Kyr'nes, the staff sounds like you.
Well, it was speaking Draconic. It had a bit of a different accent than me, but also was much more angry. But it was speaking Draconic, so you're onto something.
I don't know, you were pretty angry.
Oh,
in that
what?
game.
Huh? So I wasn't paying attention to you either.
Goodness gracious.
Cool. So what do you guys do?
I feel like Endr doesn't want to carry a human skull around for the rest of like eternity. So I feel like she's probably gonna want to go back and like give that to like Alyssa or like whatever her name was.
Whatever the fuck her name is.
The baker.
The
Or
baker.
lady.
Not the
Quick,
butcher
pick a
or the
Disney
candlestick maker.
Pick a Disney
Pick
villain.
a Disney villain.
Very funny. Very funny.
Her name is
I mean,
now
he's just
Hana.
trying to kill me with 3 hags. So, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Fair. So I guess Endr heads up the beach. Do you guys follow, or are you napping, or what are you doing?
She wants to
Well-
go home and lay in her bed and take a goddamn nap, is what she wants to do.
It would be
Drop
more
off the skull.
comfortable.
Also, I just wanted to point this out, just because I think it's really funny. Flesh golems, terrified of fire,
Oh my.
and you guys have a whole jar of it that you didn't use in that fight.
Oh yeah. Almost forgot about the jar of alchemist fire.
I also have a big giant ball of fuego that I
Yep.
could have been using,
Yep.
but I chose moonbeam instead.
It's fine.
Yep. So.
It's fine. We're fine. It's all good.
Everything's fine.
We didn't
It's fine.
die. It's
Room's on
fine.
fire. Everything's fine.
Room's on fire. Everything's fine.
This is fine.
So, as you guys head to the
Alchemist shop.
alchemist shop, you notice that there are guards mobilizing, and some of them are heading down to the beach, and some of them are heading off in the direction that the flesh golems ran.
I kind of give one of the guards a thumbs up, like, good luck.
You arrive at the alchemist shop.
I was gonna say, is one of them trying to stop Endr?
Nope.
Cool.
Nope.
Oh, that's
they,
much better.
We're drenched. We're tired. We're covered in who knows what. Guards just walk past us.
Yep.
Endr wants to lay down. She wants to get out of her clothes, take a bath, and go to bed.
Yeah, you
Get rid of this human skull that she currently has in her bag.
you get to the shop.
Okay, how long has it been since we left?
If you had to guess, it'd probably be like a couple hours. Like long enough for you to have done what you said you did, at least. And you get to the shop, and the lights are on. You know,
It's only been a couple hours.
yeah, it's only been a couple hours. You walk in, and Wolfram is like carrying a bunch of boxes like up above his head. Kind of
Endr immediately
situation.
goes and takes some
Yeah,
and puts
she's.
them on.
She-
Thank you, Glacier.
He goes, oh, I'll be with you in a minute. Oh no, it's fine. Endr.
Hi, Dad.
Hello.
When we read it, she's just like, hi, Dad.
How did your ritual go?
I feel like it like rolls over in her head, like that's what they said that they'd be doing, and she's like, it was great.
Went swimmingly.
Just imagine Zogle walking in, covered in disgusting, soaking wet, breathing heavy. Yeah,
Mm.
great.
Oh, must have been some ritual.
You could say that.
Tell you what. Let me run you a bath. I'll need a lot of water. I'll get on that.
Old man, do you have anything that's like a psychic mute button?
Well, I have potions for protecting you from psychic attacks, such as those which might come from. And he like launches into like his inventory, and what each potion is used for, and nothing sounds like it blocks communication out.
Zogle's just gonna be like, how about like saran wrap?
Saran.
Oh,
Fantasy
well,
saran wrap from the Fantasy Costco.
I have some filling from these boxes that they use. It's just paper. You can take as much as you need. You just throw it out.
Great. Does this stuff have like a mouth?
Does what have a mouth?
Does my staff have like some sort of mouth?
Yeah, the top
Right,
is
but
like
shove paper in it.
Dragon's mouth. You just shove paper in it.
Oh my god.
So you shove paper in it, and there's no change in volume, and it just sounds more angry. Like it had kind of chilled out. Like it's still like the staff pretty much constantly murmurs like in the background, but when you do things that displease it, it like starts to shout in your head.
And it doesn't help that you can't understand.
Right, I'm just like looking at it going, you know that the more you yell, the less I care, because I don't understand you.
And it doesn't stop to listen to you. It just keeps going. Okay, there.
Wow. It's like they were meant to be two people who don't care what other people are saying.
So I sit there and I'm like, so if
yes,
Azure,
really, Maya.
So if Azure wore a belt and he can speak dwarf, maybe I can sit here with this and speak the language that'll make it shut up. I'm gonna sit there for 10 minutes with it.
Okay, so you're gonna try to attune to it.
Let's see if that helps at all.
Okay. What are you guys doing while he's trying to attune to it?
I feel like Endr just like first of all just like Kate like immediately just like unbuttons her cape, hangs it on the coat rack.
Mm. Yeah, it's like a sopping wet mess. You've been dripping pretty much all the way here.
Yeah. She hangs it on the coat rack, she rolls up her sleeves, she puts her quarterstaff by the door, and she's like, I'll help with the water. And then she goes and helps her dad with the water because God knows, even though he's like feeling better, he's not technically better, so she doesn't want him carrying all that stuff by himself.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you fill up a bath in half the time. And Wolfram says, Endr, you look a little well, I'm sure you remember that fellow that came in after he got run over by a horse. You look a bit like that.
There, though.
Oh, that's like, yeah, we essentially did. No, I'll explain a little later, Dad.
Okay, well, I guess you can have first go, and I'll start to fetch water for your friends for when you're finished.
Please, get one of the boys to help you. I don't want you doing this by yourself.
All right. He takes the buckets and closes the door behind him. This is just kind of like a small, like almost a shed that's built onto the back of the house, with like a large basin in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing fancy. It's just like,
oh no,
we're
totally not fancy at all.
Yeah, like this is as much an alchemist tub as it is a bathtub. It's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, we have it, we may as well use it. Like,
Oh yeah. In fact, it's probably just like an extra large cauldron that's put in the ground. Like,
yes, yes.
yeah. So, Endr does her thing. She
Yeah.
unbraids her hair. I'm not gonna do that because I just spent all this time braiding these.
A lot of dedication.
No, she undoes her hair. It's all down. Like
Yes, really, Maya.
takes off everything she gets in, and she's just like,
Yeah.
she's just like, oh, sweet relief.
Yeah. Kyr'nes, what do you do during this time?
Other than helping Wolfram with the water for a bit, I think he kind of wanders off a little further away from the house, and he's just trying to clear his brain out a little bit. He's very worried. He recognizes that fight could have gone a lot worse, and he's got a big destiny to fulfill. So he's trying to clear his head, and he's practicing with the dagger of returning, just kind of throwing it at a random tree, seeing how many times he can hit the same spot.
Sure, yeah. And it's a magic dagger. It's kind of cool. You're in kind of a secluded alley, like an off an alley situation. But some kids run past playing some kind of game, and a few minutes later, as you're lining up a shot, you hear whispers behind you, and like a larger group of kids has gathered, and now they're watching you with your dagger.
I think Kyr'nes kind of realizes they're back there, goes, and he plays into it. He kind of gives a big old bow, he makes a big old show of it, and continues to throw.
Yeah, make a performance check.
Ooh, performance. Performance is just my charisma bonus, right?
It is your
1d20 plus 2 is... That's an 8.
An 8?
These dice have gotten no better since I've given them some attention. Naughty boys.
You're still kind of learning the dagger, so you as you're trying to like make a flourish with your hand and catch it, it comes back faster than you expected and catches you and like sort of takes you with it. and the kids laugh, like it's all entertaining to them one way or another.
I think he kind of like, as soon as he gets his feet again after it like almost dragged him down the alleyway, he kind of like just runs with it like, yeah, that was all part of the show, right, kids? Yeah, we're good. Thumbs up.
Nice.
Unrelated, but apparently it is legal in 20 states to consume roadkill.
Beautiful.
Huh.
So.
Perfect. I don't know why there would need to be a law about that. So Zogle, you sit with this staff, and the whole time it's just kind of gibbering at you, and sometimes it gets louder and sometimes it gets quieter. But as you take your short rest and have reached the attunement period, nothing happens.
Great.
It's still angry shouting.
It's still angry shouting at you.
That I just don't understand. Perfect.
Yeah, so Endr, you finish your bath. Wolfram takes the buckets that you guys brought and fills. Well, he empties the tub and then he fills the tub. It's available to you. There we go. I'll say that.
Well, when it hits Zogle's turn, instead of like as he's draining out the tub, I'll be like, "Oh, not to worry, old man," and I'll just shape water my own bathtub of water. Be like, just don't go away.
Oh, well, that's a fancy trick. And I mean, I guess Wolfram would also be at least somewhat of a wizard. Maybe he's like a level 1/2 wizard or something like that, because Endr had to learn it from somewhere,
Yeah.
right? So he's a little bit familiar with magic, and he's impressed.
Yeah, he knows like a couple spells here and there. He's
Just
probably
enough.
the one that
taught Endr cantrips or something.
Yeah, like probably taught Endr like Ray of Frost and like Prestidigitation or something.
Yeah.
And as everyone goes away, because I'm still a little bit princely, I'm totally making it a jacuzzi with my shape water.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
Also, Endr totally like just like has her hair. So imagine just taking this side, so it's like not the braids, but she's essentially just like going like this right now,
Cute.
and or like has it kind of like this or something like that. Just because she's like, I'm not gonna deal with my hair right now. I'm tired. I need to nap.
Yeah. Cool. So you're gonna take a. Well, I mean, at this point you have all taken a short rest. Like, if you want to take a long rest, that's probably a doable thing. You're probably pretty tired.
No. She's going upstairs and she's taking a long rest. She's sleeping for the rest of the day.
Cool.
Oh,
Cool.
well, first of all, she goes and finds Alina or whatever her name was.
I think that's it, actually.
Nicely done.
Cool. I had a piece of paper that I was writing things down on, but
It's there somewhere.
I'm just gonna write. There, it's in my notebook now. Yeah, she finds Alina off to the side, and she's like wearing like super like casual clothes, and she's just like, opens her bag, like she like grabbed her bag, she opens it, and she's like, take this, put it somewhere, no questions. And, like, take this, I got it, you're not allowed to ask any questions, I'm going to bed.
She takes this this hag head out of your back and immediately like goes and finds a place to retch. Like, she's not having it.
That can't smell pretty either. It really can't.
It's probably a real bad time.
Yeah.
It's like you're not allowed to ask any questions.
Yep. So she so you gave her the head. Cool. So Endr's gonna go and sleep. Are you guys planning on taking a long rest, or do you have business, or?
I don't have anything in Belwyn, so I'm definitely taking a long rest.
Okay. And Zogle?
I was reading Shape Water. I could have pink water bath.
Nice.
But yes, I will also take a long rest.
Okay. So you guys take.
Oh, just a little flavor text. I think because Kyr'nes is still kind of in his own noggin a little bit. He kind of just, instead of sleeping in the alchemist shop with everybody else, he kind of just wanders off of the forest just a little ways and throws up a hammock like he used to.
Okay.
Just kind of sleeps away from everybody else. He needs his own zone.
Cool. So if you guys were to do an 8-hour right now, you'd probably wake up in the middle of the night. Do you stick around, or do you want to wait until morning?
Oh, wait until morning.
Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't wait until morning. Because we don't want to, like, impose upon the dwarf.
I don't think we've slept in, like, we're exhausted. Like, you know, like, after, like, you've gone, like, hiking and, like...
Yeah,
like done like a bunch of other stuff in the day, and you're like, oh, I just slept for like 12 hours.
For sure. Zogle?
Oh, I probably, wait till morning, but I'm just reading stuff.
Okay. And actually, Zogle, about 2 hours into your sleep, you awaken. Well, no, it would be longer than that. It'd be about 4 hours into your sleep. You awaken to the sound of like buzzing wings. Your creature has returned. Your little dude guy.
Dude guy needs a name. Dude guy is his name. That's what it's called. It's called the dude guy.
Gizmo?
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Adorable.
Very Teen Titans.
Because that's all it is to him, is a gizmo.
Oh, less
Fair.
cute.
Well, Gizmo returns, and with him he has a small piece of parchment, which looks like it has some writing on it.
I'll read the writing and like tell Gizmo to get on top of the staff, preferably inside of the mouth, just to see if that helps. It won't.
It makes its little buggy nest inside of the staff's mouth.
Yeah.
You proceed to hear angry shouting, but you ignore it.
Yeah, depending on whether you're holding the staff or not, there is angry shouting, just whether you hear it.
Yeah, I don't hear shit because I put it over there, away
Fair.
from me, so I can sleep.
It's in a corner. No.
Fair. Yeah, the note is, it's actually a letter from your father. And he says, Zogle, you have proven yourself to be an important member of this tribe. I'm sorry that I doubted you. If you should ever need our help, we will happily come to your aid.
That's
it.
so awesome. Maybe they can tell me how to shut it up.
Beautiful. Cool, so morning comes. You guys are all well rested. Those of you who are in the alchemy shop wake up to the smell of bacon and eggs. So
Good.
not great for Zogle, but
Not great for Zogle, but
I'm gonna go into the backyard and I'm a ritual cast some fucking plant growth.
Cool. What do you grow for your breakfast?
I don't know what kind of. I'm sure they have like a small ass garden. What's in it?
Probably some general like vegetables and stuff that like they can live off of, like carrots and potatoes, and probably some berries, and honestly probably some alchemy herbs too.
Yeah. They're not in the best condition, as Wolfram wasn't really able to tend to them for a
They are
time.
now.
Thanks, Zogle.
So yeah, this once glorious garden is now looking pretty spiffy, and you're able to get some like vegetables and a couple of fruits and stuff.
I just imagine Zogle coming back in with a big ass basket full of vegetables, and everyone's like, "Hey, where'd you get that?" It's like, "Oh,
I grew it from your own."
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Nice. Cool. So you have a breakfast. Wolfram starts to clean the table, and he says, Endr, would you help me with the dishes, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah, of course. Like, she's very rested. She's back to her normal chipper self.
Yeah.
Much to Zogle's dismay.
I think as Endr's leaving the room, Kyr'nes kind of comes into the alchemy shop like, what did I miss anything?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They definitely, like, there's definitely a plate waiting for you. They didn't like expect you to dine and dash kind of situation. Right? So.
Or there's a shit ton of vegetables.
There's that too. Wolfram waits until you get to the sink and you're reasonably alone, and he says, "Are you being safe out there, Endr? I would hate to think what could happen."
I'm being as safe as I possibly can on the road. That makes you better. Even though we both know from some very specific examples isn't the safest place. I.e. her actual
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, continue. You go.
Yeah. He goes quiet for a little while, and then he says, "Where will you go next?"
I'm not entirely sure. I believe we might be going back in the direction of Doer, perhaps, but that's all I know for right now.
Just He dries his hands and disappears for a couple of moments. And when he comes back, he's holding like a sheath of or a stack of parchments. And he says, "Would you please write me to let me know that you're okay?"
I can write him now. Yay. Because I have the burb friend.
You do.
Everybody's got a friend except Kyr'nes.
It was gonna be the staff until you heard it was cool.
Mood.
Relatable though.
Sorry, I'm an angry boy. My bad.
I feel like, so Endr's just like, of course I'll write you. I actually have a way to write you from distance now, but it reliably getting to you.
Very well.
So, of course I'll write.
Okay.
I don't want you to worry about me any more than you have to.
He smiles and he kisses your forehead. He says,
"Boy, you gonna kill me."
"I know dads. I know how to be a good dad. What can I say?" He says, "You." And he says, "You're going to do great things. Just be careful how you get there."
Of course, Dad.
Yeah, finish.
Give me one moment.
Cool.
Tell your boyfriend we're being big nerds.
I'm not texting my boyfriend.
Girl, who you texting?
I'm not texting anyone. I'm googling something.
Your number. Can I have it?
Hey, yo, girl. Can I have your number? Oh, it's been many a year. It's been many moons since I've seen that. Hoo boy. You and I seem to make very similar references, kid. All the time. Like, I'll make a really obscure poll and you'll immediately pick it up. I'm like, what? He get it? Hello?
Yeah. I spend a lot of my time on the internet.
Fair. That's a mood.
G is also a person who spent a good deal of time on the internet.
Many hours.
Yeah.
I spend much time with spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Rest in spaghetti, never forgetty.
Oh my god, you almost choked me.
Oh, did I now?
We're not at the kink portion of this game.
Are we? Are we really?
Girl, come back. I need to know if
she
we
died.
Can Did you find your answer? Your thing that you were looking for?
I had a thought, but oh yes, that was my original thought.
There we go.
I got back to it. As much as Endr is just like about the idea of like Elisa, like Alina and her dad, just be like, so it's essentially just like whenever like you see like you're like old enough to like know like your parents have been like have either been in a relationship before, or where it's just weird to see your parents dating. Like, she's very much at like just in general be like kind of face like okay, so how much time, by the way, just before we even started the adventure, do you think she'd been away?
Few weeks.
A few weeks,
months.
okay.
Maybe a month.
Okay. So like by now it's been like a few months.
It's probably been about
probably like a few weeks, because like
probably like 2 months. I think it's been like 3 weeks since you guys started your adventure. I think.
Because we spent like how long in the boat?
Yeah, it's a week
days.
one way. So it's 5 days one way. So that's 10. if it had been a month before you guys arrived at the Dragon's Den, then
I forgot that was the name of the first bar that we went to.
yeah.
Actually, then never mind. If it, I thought if it was going to be a bigger span of time. This is outside of Endr. Like it's like, oh well, I have the ability to marry people. Just let me know.
Hasn't been that long.
Hasn't been that long.
Although, I mean, I guess it was a different time.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna do it now because, like, just for like standards, like, okay, they're close, but like clearly, like, there's something going on there, but it's not like explicitly something going on. So it's like, I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm just gonna be like, I feel like she's like, oh yeah, I feel like she wants to bring up the fact that she like believes in God now.
Okay, yeah, she found religion. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, hey Dad, I found religion, and I'm dedicated to a God now. But of course, like in a much nicer way.
Yeah. So, what does that sound like?
I feel like she's like, oh, and on my adventure so far, you know how you and I are kind of in the same boat. We were in the same boat. We're pretty agnostic. We're not like really like swaying one way or the other, you know. Right, Dad?
I mean, it's pretty hard to be agnostic when
there are
world
literal
is populated
deities.
by gods.
Yeah. I mean, like, well, what does the dad believe in if he's an alchemist? Like,
I mean, I guess if someone's not devoted to a particular religion in this world, it's probably just like they treat it like a fact of life. Like, oh.
Okay, so it's like, oh, I just tore out the entire thing off. I thought there was gonna be some left. Nice. Like, oh, you know how like we're both not really devoted to any god, Dad.
Yes.
I'm devoted to a god now, and I'm kind of partially a cleric, I think.
He looks a little shocked, for sure. He says, well, clerics are good sometimes.
I'm dead.
I mean, which god?
Internal panel click, please, not a bad one, please, not a bad one, please, not a bad one.
I thought she was Master Emo Face.
Oh dear.
No.
Emo Endr with like the fringe. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
No. Oh, I'm getting really hot with this wig on. It's a smaller goddess. I'm following the goddess Panacea.
And this is one that he would probably be aware of, you know.
Yeah.
He says, well, Endr, that is wonderful, and I hope that she guides you to safety.
Thank you, Dad.
She
like hugs her dad.
Oh yeah, hugging, all kinds of stuff.
I need to draw Wolfram at some point.
You should. That'd be fun. You finish the dishes, and Wolfram says, I've packed lunches for you.
Bless.
Here you are, and he hands out lunches. Zogle, again, just totally oblivious.
Endr leans over. I'm sorry, he's trying.
I just look at Kyr'nes and be like, here, I stole your staff, you can have this.
He just still has like the huge like mountain of vegetables in a basket, just like, I'm good.
Nah, I'm just leaving the basket of vegetables on the table from what I didn't eat, but I hand him my meat sandwich and be like, I stole your staff, here, have this.
You did! You're right!
and unless you guys have anything else, he kind of shoos you out the door.
I think
I was going to give this back, but my bug made a nest in it, and I can't remove him.
There's
You probably could, but yeah,
There's some
he's not.
whirring and, and like falling off of the staff. Every time the bug moves around, Zogle, the staff gets angry.
I think as they're leaving, Kyr'nes kind of turns to Wolfram and says, "Thank you for what you've told me. It's going to be indispensable."
He he stares at you and kind of like thinks for a minute, and he says, well, yes, barley. It's essential to kidney care. You're welcome."
That's such like a shopkeeper response.
he takes like a couple of like things of barley and he says, "Here for the road."
It's like, yes, that's definitely what I meant. Thank you.
Bye, Dad. Love you.
Oh, goodbye.
Old man, the garden in the back will be lovely for about a year, and if you would like to continue that trend, Thistle and Bristle have already promised that they would love any time you called them to come and help you out with your gardening. Just let them know that Zogle sent for them.
Emo Endr time.
He looks at Endr and he's like, "Well, I don't know what a bristle is, but thank you for the garden."
Oh, they're two lovely druids from my house in the forest. Just feel free to send a message. They won't say no, and they'll totally help out.
I feel like Endr like side glances Zogle like, really you're gonna send those two?
Nice.
It's more for their discomfort than for yours, Endr.
He grabs your hand and shakes it vigorously. He says, thank you so much."
Yes, and you can put together, stew for all kinds of company. Just walks away.
He doesn't catch it, I don't think. Slightly oblivious.
Yes, Papa Moonwind.
If you guys don't mind, before you start the next leg of your journey, I need to use the restroom real quick, so I'm gonna just take a quick break.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Emo Endr time. It's fine. It's not a phase, Dad!
Just let me listen to 3 cottages down. Oh,
I'm just sitting here just laughing like, oh, the staff is speaking Draconic. Wow, this is a great staff for Kyr'nes. Oh, it helps people get beat up better?
Yeah.
In mind.
Just like having like an actual conversation, like, oh, you're gonna challenge me, and then just yoink. Just take.
I wasn't done with that yet.
I wasn't done talking.
Sorry, I gotta beat a mother trucker with another mother trucker thing.
Oh man.
I'm glad I finally got the braids done.
Yeah, they look fresh.
I just need to weave ribbon into it now. Ugh.
Y'all, I'm so pumped to fill you in on like Kyr'nes' lore.
You filled me in a little tiny bit.
I filled you in a little bit because I'm overly excitable, but like to fill the whole party in so y'all know what's going on is gonna be cool.
What can I say except you're welcome?
See, now I can't remember the next line. I'm like, what? Can I keep going? Can I keep going?
Pulls up the sky, and you the one way high the sky.
Why all the hatred towards necromancers? Can't a guy just raise a family in peace?
Raise a family. Oh god.
Oh, that's a terrible pun. I love it.
I missed a terrible pun.
Yeah, why all the hate on necromancers? Can't they just raise a family in peace?
God damn it. Okay. So, I guess you guys are heading to Dover. Is that right? Well, I mean, technically,
Technically, we
are you
what?
heading to Dover?
I think Kyr'nes is very like. Can we go to Dover now? To Dover?
Oh, shittles. Don't we have, like, other shit to do, though, real quick? I can't remember, though.
So.
Do we have other stuff to do? I'm very
you?
curious.
I don't recall.
I
Okay,
know
so
Endr's all good.
if you access your quest log, I believe
I would like to access my quest log.
your current information is that there is, well, obviously there's a big blue giant who's pissed at you.
We have a big blue giant that's pissed at us. What did I miss?
Yeah, the ogre, the
Oni.
Oni,
Yeah.
what did I name him?
Demon ogre looking bullshit, blah 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 blah.
The dude was
That I
disguised
promised I
in
was gonna.
vanilla.
That I
Oh,
promised I
yeah,
was gonna
sorry.
shove.
I think I missed that
An
detail
action
because
too.
I left for dinner or something.
Yes.
I wonder what's
So-
for dinner.
He's in charge of. He was in
It's-
charge of Clarella. He was in charge of Jas.
Oh, so it's the big bad that we keep seeing stamps of and like.
And we
markings
do
on
know
and
where
stuff.
he is because he's pretending to be a politician at the moment.
Quest log. What button
Actually,
is that?
Zogle, that's really interesting that you say that because your mother
Characters.
thinks that he's going to the mountains in the east of Dover. So
Right. So that means that there's somebody else pretending to be a politician.
So
maybe.
I'm gonna take off the wig now because my head is really
Okay.
hot and it's
Okay.
like 78 degrees outside right now.
Cool.
And my window's open. But
I'll
when
do
I'm back,
two
you can
quests.
see my new haircut.
Okay.
Ooh, heck. I would do 2 quest log. I don't run this.
I was making a joke.
Oh. Here
You
I
spend that time looking for a quest log?
actually opened Roll20 on the on the thing because I thought that was a
That
button.
would be so awesome if we had one, but we don't because I'm lazy. And, well, none of us thought to do it.
Actually, I might have to borrow some code off of somebody, but I have an idea. No promises, but I'd have to modify
Okay, so
it as
we
well.
know
So it looks better
Oni
anyway.
is super pissy, and that's over and not where we're going.
That's-
Mm,
I mean, as far as we we know that, like,
shoot.
yeah,
Altogether, they're too short, but
otherwise fresh.
Looks good. Sorry, you know what, Kyr'nes?
So we know that the Oni, because of, Azure's
My
speakings. Yeah, your mom, and also Azure speaking with the Barbarian, that, like, the Oni is doing things in Dover.
Well, we know that Cruella is doing stuff in Dover, but not actually.
But since
That-
Clarella is kind of several shades of dead, we're assuming it's the Oni.
several shades of dead.
I mean,
Right.
maybe there's a necromancer.
Right, so we
I
have
mean-
like 2 different shades of stuff happening right now. And if it is a necromancer, I could get another stab that I can keep away from Kyr'nes.
And aside from that, Kyr'nes has
Kyr'nes does have
has a
some.
lead
big
that he's been
things.
interested in for a while now,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's your quest leads for right now.
Yeah, and then like, doesn't somebody have access to those guilds as well now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there are. I mean, any of you
I
could
do.
join the Explorers Guild if you wanted to, and the Masters Guild is available to people who are masters.
Not master yet, but still.
are to people who specialize in more than one of the major fighting disciplines, which translates to people who have multi-classed or can convince the Master's Guild that they've multi-classed.
Azure essentially.
I think Azure did do that.
He actually has not done that yet.
He has not. But we do have somebody who has. We have Endr, who is 2 different things.
It's true.
No.
And we are, so everything we need is going to be in Duver at the moment.
Way direction.
Yeah, I mean,
New York.
there's like a whole big beautiful world for you guys to explore, but yeah, that's like the stuff that you're kind of related to right now.
So Zaga's gonna probably would have taken his breakfast to kind of like mull over everything that needs to be done. And he's like, as we're walking, so if we want to die, then we rush in to the mountains. If we also want to probably perish, we rush in and go fight Cruella.
That is not her name.
Or we get
Clara.
Zogle also doesn't care. Maybe we murder. That's about as far as I go. Otherwise, we need friends.
Well, there is something that I'm probably going to need you guys' help in Roadveen. So if we could undertake that adventure and see how much more prepared we are for the mountains then.
Okay.
Hey.
What are we doing over there?
Like I said, I have some things to tell you, and we're not easily spied on.
Oh my gosh, hey, do you want the staff, by the way?
Yes, it was...
Awesome, tell me what we're doing, otherwise you don't get it. Great, I don't understand what that means.
And you don't understand the staff either! So... I'll fill you in later. It's important that only certain people know this.
Do you think this is a good wash and wear kind of thing? And I'm like conjuring up a little globulate of water in the air. I mean, I know it's a red dragon and all, so that'll probably hurt, but you know.
Yeah.
I think you misunderstand. My interest in this staff is mostly idle curiosity, although it could be... Well, it's mostly curiosity. It's just interesting that it's speaking Draconic. Not particularly attached to it yet.
I know, that's true. I could just take it back to home, though, where they can be, taken care of, because there's a force inside of it, and you'll never see it again. I don't know.
Zogle, I'm going to tell you one word, one name. You may or may not know who it is, but if you know who it is, it will make everything abundantly clear. And that name is Faroche. Is that enough for you? Yes, really. That is her name.
As the druid of this forest, would I have any idea what that means?
Odds are no.
Make a nature roll.
I'm not bad at those.
Actually, you can, choose between nature and history. That's your choice.
We're gonna go with, it's the exact same score.
Okay.
I'm curious to see if he does know anything.
A 22 in nature?
22. Yeah, so, Faroche is Faroche? Am I saying that right?
Yes, Faroche.
Okay. Faroche is a powerful white dragon.
Bronze dragon.
Bronze dragon.
Giz, go on the other staff. And then I just toss him the dragon staff.
Catch.
As soon as you catch it.
No, please make a roll for that catch.
Oh my gosh, yes, because I have -1 dex. I do need to roll to catch that. Oh man, 1d20 -1. That's an 8. What the heck? What's with the 9s and 8s today?
So as your like hand makes contact with it, you hear for like a brief second, it goes, "Be careful, you clown!" And then like it drops out of your grasp, and like smacks into the ground. It's fine. It's a magic staff.
It's fine.
Pick it back up like, you're right, I'm clumsy.
And he says, "How dare you throw the great dragon staff?"
I wasn't the one throwing you. Calm down.
Return me now.
Oh, so
speak
you-
the language.
Oh, so you like the one that doesn't understand.
Not to him. Take
They're-
me back to the hags.
They're
How's
a
your
little
dad?
indisposed by, they're a little indisposed on the astral plane right now, so that's not really an option.
They're dead.
Yo,
Yeah.
we killed him.
And he just lets loose like a string of swears, just like really, really vulgar shit, and some of it you've never even heard before.
Goodness gracious, you've got a mouth like a sailor.
I'm going to assume if I had heard it, I would have known what a few of those words were because I'm pretty sure he's been using them at me.
Probably
A few of them.
at least recognize them. And he says, "Take me to a temple.
Of who?
I don't care. Just get me out of this staff."
I don't know. That staff looks pretty comfy. I might leave you there for a bit.
If I ever get out of here, I will make it my personal journey to trap your soul in the smallest splinter of wood.
Oh, but this is a full staff-sized piece of wood. It's not that bad. It's not like you're in an umbrella or anything. Come on.
Do not disrespect me.
The staff went from being able to be like untangibly yelling to crap. Now what do I do?
Listen, we'll sort out you being stuck in the staff eventually. I kind of have my own vision quest to go on.
I am the spirit of a great red dragon. You will release me immediately.
A red dragon, huh? You could be handy.
Chaotic evil. Ew.
Kyr'nes has some gears turning in the back of his head about a thing that may eventually happen. But anyway, with that, he, stows the staff in the handy haversack.
Mm. Oh, inside the... Okay.
Yeah, just, we'll talk later, bye!
Since it is technically in a pocket plane, the staff shuts up.
Nice.
And you hear, "No, don't put me in." Yeah, okay, so you guys presumably head down to the docks. Make a... If I could get all of you to make an investigation check.
Investigation.
Or,
I'm assuming I can't just turn into a horse and kick Azure until he, gets us back on the boat that we usually use.
No, well, because you came back not on the floating
That
boat.
boat.
You came back on a friend of Grey Boulder's boat.
That's a 14.
14. Anybody better than 14?
I rolled the
20.
fun.
19.
19. Okay, yeah.
19?
So as you're all chatting with like some of the crews that are around, Endr, you managed to find a much smaller boat, which is likely like crewed by like maybe 4 or 5 sailors, and the portly captain, dressed in like typical pirate gear,
Mhm.
situation, is more than happy to take you to Duver.
Okay, are they citizens like of Belwyn?
No, they're travelers, they're traders. But the captain, whose name is Captain Class.
Class?
Class, TLAS. He says, oh, we're heading to Duver. We can certainly take on. Hold on, wait. What does a sailor sound like? Aye, matey. Aye, we're going to Duver.
What does a sailor sound like? Instantly goes to pirate.
They're actually in the process of like getting ready to leave port. So he says, if you'd like to board ship, we can get underway.
Okay.
Hylia, bless me. One moment.
Be nice.
Or don't.
Yeah.
Can't tell you how to live it.
His mom, like, they have a thing. Usually, he just goes, "Yes!"
I'm up again.
He's like down like the stairs. It's a thing.
Yeah, and the so you all board the ship. You've got 5 days of sailing ahead of you. So what is the plan? What do you guys do for 5 days?
I definitely want to just kind of, because now I'm finally like properly having a chance now that my clothing and everything isn't wet and I'm not having the opportunity of getting this important book that my goddess has given to me, like soaked by the surf.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming I'm sitting in a relatively splashless place.
Mm-hmm.
I want to like take a lookie at my bookie.
Beautiful. Nerd!
As if you haven't been reading a book while we walk the whole time.
Literally, as I'm reading, walking past Endr, nerd!
There's one to no one!
If you excuse me, I'm going to cause massive damage.
So, within the book, letters sort of kind of start to rearrange themselves as you read, and things become more clear. You still can't read the majority of it, but there are things like clerical spells. As it's a book of Panacea, there's some like history of her, and there's also some herb lore and like alchemy stuff in there too. So.
Wait, did you say herb lore?
I did say herb lore.
Oh, off she goes to get another prop. There it is. Herb lore.
An entire book on medicinal herbs.
Just like that. What do you other two do?
For the first day, I'm gonna grab Kyr'nes and be like, "You get to throw as much ice at something as you want."
Okay. Color me
Great.
interested.
Summon a giant ass wall of water on the boat.
I know exactly what you're on about. I read Wall of Water the other day.
So it's a great big wall of water, and I'm just gonna look at Kyr'nes and be like, "Have at it." I'm gonna focus on it and have at it.
I'm gonna blast as much cold at it as I can. I'm gonna use my breath weapon and then cast Dragon's Breath and just at it.
Yeah. Now, normally this wouldn't be acceptable ship behavior, and although a couple of the crewmen give you funny looks, Captain Class is all for it. He's excited.
We now have, for every 5 feet that is damaged by ice, turns into ice.
I think as
he's into it until it starts to weigh down the ship.
I think as Kyr'nes like puts together like, oh, that's what you want. He starts trying to get a little fancier with it, make like some sculpture or something.
Right? I'm trying to be tactical about it. I can totally see. I'm trying to be tactical, but Kyr'nes is like having fun. It's like, hey,
no fun.
Kids, We can trap people inside of some of this, or hey, look, we can cut people off. Like, come on, stop with the
Like little
Not everything
swans
needs to be
floating
Dragon
around in
King.
there.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you guys pass a week on the
Ooh,
water.
while this
making
week
ice
is passing.
sculptures. Yeah.
While this week is passing, I think Kyr'nes does his best to try and find like a secluded area that's not gonna like have prying ears from the crewmen. He sits down the party and he says, "This probably will be the best we can do given the size of Duver. I have some explaining to do." And he sets a hand on the table, casts minor illusion, and from beneath his hand springs a very small, like, think hologram of Farosh.
Mhm.
And he begins his spiel and he says, "My name is Kyr'nes, that much you know. And Zogle, you know this part, but everybody else doesn't, so I'm gonna have to fill them in. I am a son of Farosh. She is a great bronze dragon of, well, remarkable power, and she's not technically originally my mom. To make a
Adopted kids gotta stick together.
to make a long story short, I wound up in her care because of one of my older brothers, who actually found me on the outskirts of Duver, believe it or not. I was young enough to not remember anything, so I was taken into the clan because of the generosity of my mother and my brother, and I grew up there. I don't know if you all know, but normally white dragons aren't this... How shall I put this
Talkative?
lightly? Yes, talkative, exactly.
No, good. He's supposed to be evil. Zoggle's just like gonna look at Endr like, what?
Eventually I put two and two together. It took embarrassingly long, given, white scales versus bronze, but I put two and two together, and I wound up asking, Mom...
Did it know you were a... I'm just gonna pull out a book at this point, like, nope, that's real mean.
Listen, I know it wasn't very clever of me to not sort it out for a while, but eventually I put two and two together, and I asked Mom, what happened, and Farosh filled me in, and, eventually, it came time for me to, set out on my own. It doesn't happen often in a clan normally. Usually they're self-sufficient societies, but Mom seemed to think that I needed to find my own wings, so to speak. And she set me on a quest that, till I met you guys, I was having no success on. I was wandering the wilds for a long time, looking for my real mother and my real clan. And I didn't even have the faintest idea of where I was going until, well, I met you guys and we spoke with, Endr's dad, and he mentioned Rodvine being a source of white dragon scales, and that's my first real lead in a long time, and that's why I want to go to Rodvine so badly. It's my, well, given quest. My mother's given me a task, and I need to speak with my real family. I need to find out where I was supposed to be, essentially. And then return to my mother and tell me what I've found. Or tell her what I've found, basically. And that's the real story. All that stuff I've told you about, I wandered the world, looking to make a name for myself, that sort of thing. That was all just a story I tell people I don't trust. This is a quest of monumental importance, or at least I assume it is if my mother was going to bade me to rush out into the world, and I just felt you guys were owed this truth, essentially. We almost died in that hag fight, and I got a little overexcited, a little shouty, And I just... Seeing my own mortality like that, so much more obvious than usual, I just felt I needed to have someone else know other than me. If I die, heaven forbid, but if I die, someone somehow get a message to my mother, tell her what's happened. That's all I ask of you guys. Do anything else you need, but just tell Farosh that I love her and that I tried.
Boy, you're gonna make me cry with this.
Mm.
And
your family is what you make it. I don't know if. I mean, obviously, I can't stop you on this mission of yours, as you've clearly made it your goal in life. But I hope that you learn that this path is more for self-acceptance than trying to figure out any family matter.
I'm glad you see it that way, Zogle. I agree with you. It's much more about finding what I'm meant to be as this odd sort of mishmash. But it's also an order from my mother, and I don't want to disobey her. So that's why I was so antagonistic in Duver, why I was so insistent about us going to Rotveen. I need this.
It's your funeral.
Oh, let's hope not. And
Thank you for telling us, Kyr'nes. I'm sure that was a big step for you.
I trust you all. I don't have any reason not to.
What do you mean, no reason not to?
And I think as he's speaking, it shifts from like the hologram that's on the table that he cast with minor illusion. It kind of shifts as he tells the story from Farosh to like a little hologram of his older brother, and then like what he saw in the mind palace, so to speak, of the white dragon. Oh, and one more thing. If I wind up dying, you guys might get to meet my sister. Let's hope you guys meet under better circumstances. But, there's that. It's always something to consider. Anyway, I've said my piece. Thank you guys for listening. And he kind of sets a hand down on the table, and the hologram dissolves.
Oh, I'd rather you not die.
Well, yeah, I mean, me either. Kind of enjoy living.
Cool.
What about listening?
Oh my god.
So Zogle knows only what he learned from the nature check.
I'm always listening. I'm waiting for your weaknesses. I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. Where is she? Rachel! Anyway.
So after this conversation, another few days pass, and you arrive in Duver. Yeah, you pull up. Captain Tlass lets you off of the ship. Doesn't charge. Just a cool guy. Lets you ride along.
Are we going to meet
his
this
boat's
man
pretty
again?
cool too.
His boat's pretty cool.
Cool. So
I turn around before we leave into Duver, and I thank the dude because small town just thanks for the hospitality.
yeah, and he says, "Aye, of course. I'm happy to help."
Zogle's gonna go. Thanks for steering the boat.
You tried. You're getting better.
Yes, really,
Nice.
my.
And as we get into town, I'm stiff ass, very bored. People.
Now that you all know why Kyr'nes is so anxious to get to Rotoveen, it's much more obvious that he's kind of looking down the road like,
settle if we're going to go after dragons.
Lower your voice.
Need friends. Dragons. There's dragons somewhere. There are dragons in the world. No one cares.
No one cares.
I cares. I
Great.
cares
No,
very
no, no,
much.
Great. The one person I hope hears me heard me. Woohoo! We did a circle. So happy. Anyway, I vote that we get some friends help from that words. I vote that we get some help from 2 pairs of friends.
I mean, I'm hoping for this not to be a competitive situation. I would think they would, at least consider me a kinsman.
White dragon.
I know they're not the happiest people, but they're not the friendliest, but
I know you were raised by wolves in this situation. White, not metallic. White dragon.
Okay. But we don't get to fill
I
them
know-
in on the details.
I know. Okay, would Endr know it, or can Endr make just a general history check to see if she knows jack diddly about dragons? I feel like she knows a little bit just based off oh, you can use scales for these things, but just basic history of dragons before she does a speak.
Yeah, I would say it's a disadvantage because she doesn't really have a reason to have interacted with dragons outside of scales and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes.
19.
At disadvantage?
Okay.
No,
What a roll.
So I got a 16 plus my modifier, which is 4, so that was a 20 minus 1, which is 19. So, right?
Disadvantage is you roll twice and take the lower roll.
Let me do that again then. I don't think I've had to do a disadvantage roll yet, so.
It's because I'm nice.
I'm great at doing them, apparently.
So a 9.
A 9.
So that's much better.
Yeah, I mean, basically you would know, common knowledge would be metallic good, chromatic bad.
Would I know that copper dragon?
Ooh, she froze.
Bro, I lost you.
She knew too much.
She knew too much.
The knowledge of the white dragon has frozen her.
Hello?
Dragon CIA drops it from
Hello? Hello?
So her
what's
little
up?
CIA person in her webcam is actually a chromatic dragon.
Chromatic interest agent.
So what is your...
Would I know that copper dragons will literally
I think what she's trying to get across is that
maybe she actually does have a dragon.
Type it.
yeah, I think what she's trying to get across, if I had to guess, is that bronze dragons will literally kidnap people and then talk them to death.
Yeah, that's what I was on about. Will Endr know that?
Probably not.
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah, because I mean that would probably be kind of a unique piece of information because it's unlikely that a lot of survivors get out of that situation.
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are you guys? Who are you going to talk to?
Who are we going to talk to? So who are these mysterious friends of yours, Zogle? I didn't know. I know you're not big on cities.
What do
Oh.
you mean mysterious? We don't have any mysterious friends.
Oriana,
I'm going to
man.
go talk to Oriana.
Oh yeah.
Just kind of walks past looking at Kyr'nes like, where have you been? Living under a rock?
Also, I drank this entire thing.
That's a lot of
Bro,
aloe.
you're gonna need to pee.
It'll be a little while. It's bigger than my head, so
It's a lot of aloe. Anyway, off we go.
I'm gonna restart
Okay.
Discord really quick because y'all keep freezing up on me. So
Okay.
Off we go into the world. Meet
So you're going to
Oriana.
Oriana. Meet Oriana. Do do do. Meet Oriana.
Phenomena.
Beautiful. Well, oh, there she is. Hello. Welcome back.
hello.
Yeah, you guys go to the Explorers Guild. There's no real security. You can pretty much walk right in, and there's no one outside. So, if you wish to enter, you may.
Knock knock. We're
Okay.
here.
All right. Do you actually knock, or do you walk in and say knock knock?
I walk in and say knock knock.
Walking. Say knock, knock.
Oh, okay. A mousy-looking gnome woman is hanging up a picture in the hall, like the sort of entrance hall, and she goes, "Oh, how can I help you? Welcome to the Adventurers Guild."
I'm gonna take a quick glance at the picture. What is it?
It's like some flowers and shit.
Oh,
Wow.
pure.
You have a very important job, I see.
Oh, morale is very important. They're not gonna let me go and hunt a Hydra. I just signed up.
I agree, morale is very important. It's dreadfully important to keep everyone cheery and, well, interested.
See, not everyone understands that.
So cheery all the time. Is Oriana?
Oh yes. She's reading in the study. Would you like me to announce you? Have you been here? Are you members?
I'm just gonna glide past the gnome person and just go to the study.
Okay. Make an investigation check to see if you can find it on your own. It's like a large guild hall.
Oh, I have the hiccups now.
Ugh.
Girl, with the amount of investigation checks I've had to make today, I might need to find some training in it. That would be a 2.
A 2. You venture down the hall and realizing that you have no idea where you're going, you just open the first door you see. You're greeted by a lizard man in his birthday suit.
I mean, I'm a nature-based mother trucker from a druidic village. I'm just gonna be like, hey, have you seen Oriana?
He looks and like rushes to cover up, and he says, "Oriana is in the study down the hall."
Just walk past and go towards the study.
Do you close the door?
No.
Are the rest of you guys following him? Or?
I definitely fervently apologize to the poor little gnome. Like, I'm so sorry. He's even worse at people than I am. He's kind of he's a bit of a forest guy. Anyway, I'm very sorry. I guess we have to go follow him. Bye.
Goodbye.
Endr very much is just like, sorry about my friends. They're not very much people, if you get what I mean. Great jobs with paintings, keep it up. Rushes off.
As you pass the lizard man's room, the door like slams in your ear. Yeah, you do eventually find a large sort of entranceway to a small library, decently sized, bigger than the one in the Belwyn Town Hall.
Zogle's in heaven immediately.
Ignorance. Blissful people ignorance.
and sat there by a small fire, which she is tending to, and sort of half reading a book, draped in black robes, is Oriana.
Hello.
Well, I should figure I would see you here.
She starts and looks at you and she's, oh, Zogle, oh, Kyr'nes, Endr, Azure.
Oh
she
yeah,
gets-
Azure.
Oh yeah, he's been T-posing this whole time.
This whole time. the crew of the ship is like, and okay.
Oh, he's fine. He's
He's a little stuck. He'll
He's sick. He'll be fine.
he's just asserting his dominance. He'll be
He
back.
had a horrible smelting accident.
Oh.
Well, she comes to you and, you know, gives you all warm hugs. She says, what brings you back?
I need help.
Well, geez, put it delicately.
Offers you some chairs by the fire.
Groovy. I need to kill a dragon.
We're not gonna kill her.
Fine. I need to meet a dragon.
Oh.
Gee whiz.
Any dragon?
A
I
very
don't know
specific
a
dragon.
Okay, why don't we let maybe Kyr'nes do the talking to explain to Oriana? It is kind of his deal.
Oh, you're totally right. I get up and I go look at books and ignore everything.
She says, Kyr'nes, what's going on?
Well, like Zogle said, we kind of need to arrange a meeting with a very specific white dragon. Have you heard the rumors about a white dragon in Rodveen?
I mean, none of note for a long time. There used to be a sizable white dragon that lived there, but I haven't heard news in a long time about that. There are minor ones. I mean, the whole city was infested at one point, but that's all I know.
Well, I'm assuming anyway, she's gonna be pretty major. Listen, in case things go south, I know that white dragons are not the most personable folks. In case things go south, we may need some help from you, Oriana. I know you're a powerful illusionist, and that would be an absolute boon in aiding us in this endeavor.
Half-mindedly. Oh yeah, we're also going to go to the other guild and get help from them too.
Don't! They have a rivalry!
Well, I can't speak for them, but you are good friends to me, and well, this place is a little stuffy. Could I get you to make a persuasion check for me?
I can. Persuasion is just my charisma modifier, right?
Mm-hmm. Plus, well, depending if you have.
Yeah, I don't have proficiency in persuasion.
Oh man, I do though.
And you decided to walk the heck off.
Took
Right,
deception
I'm just
instead of
looking at books on
persuasion.
dragons.
Gosh dang it. Alright. That's a 16.
Yeah. She says, "Let me talk to the guildmaster. I've been thinking that I need a break, so I would be happy to come with you to Rodavine."
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Oriana.
Of course. And she says, "If I'll be right back," and leaves you all to your devices in the study for a bit. Zogle, is there any kind of book you're looking for in particular?
Dragons.
Dragons?
Dragons.
Yeah. Can you make an investigation check?
God damn it!
Do I
gotta
notice
give
Zogle
this
looking for
poor
dragon
boy.
books?
Oh, actually, can I take my 15 minutes and use my research ability?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't remember what the roll is for that one.
Please give this poor boy an ability, like some sort of chance to like get some.
Hence the
stuff under
research
his belt.
ability usage.
Let me see here. What's your background? Sage?
I think it's the sage one.
Okay. No, I went too far. Personality and backgrounds. Oh. Researcher, yeah. When you attempt to learn or recall a piece of lore, if you do not know that information, you often know where or from whom you can obtain it. Usually this information comes from a library, scriptorium, blah, blah. Your DM might rule that the knowledge you seek is secreted away in an inaccessible... Okay. Unearthing the deepest secrets of the multiverse can require an adventure. Okay. So you know that it's in a library.
Well, since I'm just trying to research dragons.
Insightful.
Go ahead and make your roll. I'll lower the DC for you.
Yay! It's a 12?
Yeah. You find a book on dragons. There's actually like a full section, but maybe you don't notice the full section. Maybe you're just like, oh, here's the book I'm looking for, because you're not used to like having such a diverse library. But as the Adventurers Guild, that's kind of their thing, is like having monster lore and stuff. But yeah, so you like the first book you see, you're like, oh, this one, and immediately lose your place. But yeah, there's stuff on dragons. Is there any information in particular you're looking for?
I'm Batman.
You're Batman.
I'm gonna look for weaknesses and obvious that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
In case things go real bad real quick.
Okay, let's see. Ooh, I still haven't pulled all my books out of my bag. So, okay. White dragons. Red dragons, copper dragons. Nope, not Warrens. Not Drow. Dragons, please. Not Duergar. This section is so big, but when I'm looking for it, I can never ever find it. Is it before Red Dragons? It is. It is. Blue, black. God damn it! Just show me white dragons. This is such a big section.
You're having trouble finding your place.
Like Zogle, how deep are we going here? Is it my place in the book?
I'm really good at reading. I'm not so good at remembering where things are in those books.
Found it. Oh boy. Ooh. Oh, I'm so excited to use this.
Oh boy.
Knowing
That's
what I
never a good
do,
thing to
it's
hear.
gonna be an adventure.
So white dragons do not have any weaknesses. They have they're immune to cold damage.
Okay, clearly.
They thrive in icy surface in icy environments. they're able to move through them with ease.
Would I know if they have like? So I'm trying to figure out the best way to say that without being like metagamer.
Metagame it, do it.
It's they're great. I'm basically looking what statistic would they fail the most at? Like, what would be the easiest way to knock them down a peg?
Yeah, so they're big, so it's hard for them to maneuver dexterously.
Hey,
Guess
what Kyr'nes got from his mom?
Makes so much sense.
Also, they white dragons are frequently more on the feral side, so their intelligence is not very high.
Bet I want some words
so
about that.
Much sense.
Hey, I have a +1 in intelligence. It's not that bad.
You're talking to the person that has like a plus, like plus something insane to intelligence. Yeah, I have like I have an 18 in intelligence and a +4. So
you got intelligence where I got that wisdom, girl. Where I got that wisdom.
Okay. Cool. While you're researching, Oriana comes back and she says, "I've been cleared to leave. I'm ready. We like to travel light, so I'm always packed."
I'm just like probably splayed out all of these different books because after I researched, dragons, I was probably busy with different, traps and fighting styles, and I'm like, oh, I saw a lizard guy on the way in. Maybe he could clean this up.
She says, "Oh, it's fine. I use the library all the time." And she like starts mage handing, like double fisting it, just like book, and like putting them in their places.
I love it.
I think Kyr'nes like seeing mage hand, kind of like, "Oh, I do that mage hand," and then just kind of like waves a little bit and then dispels it because he's like, "I don't know where these books go." He's like, "Hey, I have mage hand. I can do that."
I can do the thing.
Beautiful.
Well, the great news is your mom's probably klutzy like you.
Well, that should come in handy.
Yes, I was definitely thinking a bramble trap, and I just started like listing different ways that we're probably going to get out of it if, via murder.
If things go badly. I do have advantage on like charisma checks against Dargons, so that's a thing.
Right. If things go badly. This is not at all planned from ahead of time. Right. Anyway.
It's fine. We're all fine.
Cool. So you guys have Oriana now. What's your?
I feel like we should go over to like what's like the Masters Guild or whatever. Is what it's
Certainly, we have to head over there, and although I am probably the best to speak, I don't think, as somebody who is one thing, I vote Endr, you're going to have to lead the charge in this one.
Oh, okay. Hold on, I need to like bring my dice out here because I'm making dinner, so I'm like, yep. I'm just gonna grab my D20. My D20 is just gonna live in my pocket while I'm making dinner in case I need to roll some sort of persuasion or whatever. Because I feel like I'm gonna. So we should just go over to the Masters Guild.
Cool.
And essentially, her argument's gonna be, "Hey, look, cantrip. Hey, look, God book.
Hey, look, other cantrip."
So as soon as Oriana gets out of the guild hall, she kind of brightens up a bit.
Oh, that's good.
and she kind of gets back to her old self, and she starts to gossip about the Masters Guild. Just things like, oh, I heard that at the Masters Guild they make you do a blood ritual before they let you join, and I think that's absolutely barbaric.
And then everyone, someone probably sees Endr out of their corner of their eye, just be like,
my blood.
It's like, Oriana, that's not helping. I'm already really nervous.
I think inwardly Zogle is like beaming and really happy that like Oriana is doing better, and she's like cheerful. And on the outside, he's like, whatever. Great.
So
cool.
Kyr'nes is like, ooh, that hot goss. Fill me in.
Let's go.
Yeah, and so you use the streets, sort of some of the like smaller streets which wind between the larger ones, the two large streets of Duver. You arrive fairly quickly at the Masters Guild. Are you entering the Masters Guild?
Is it like the Adventurers Guild, or we can just walk right the heck in, or do we have
There's
to
actually a doorman.
Ooh. And now they've all frozen. Everyone's favorite. Oh dear, you all froze for a good bit there. Try again.
You froze.
Hello?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I was the one that done dilly did the froze.
You diddly did it.
I feel like Endr kind of is the one that steps up, because she's gonna have to be the one to okay, so like, how tall is Oriana? I'm guessing she's kind of like a taller woman.
Yeah, she's probably taller than Endr, but not as tall as the guys. Maybe like halfway in between.
Just out of this crowd of talls.
Come just like small, like little like girl, like this court, like with this staff that's like 3 inches taller than herself, just like, hi.
So I know that there is a doorman, but is there are the doors open though?
No. So as you approach, he looks down at you.
Of course, he has to look down.
He is a tabaxi, which is like a cat
man.
Yes, my cousin is a tabaxi in our and she is a bard.
And he so he has like a great axe on his back, and his eyes, it's hard to tell from a distance, but as you get closer, he has an extra set of eyes that sort of float in front of his eyes, and give off sort of this like darkish mist.
Sounds like Warlock.
I'm very good at describing things.
Wouldn't know that in character, but sounds like
probably
Warlock.
not. In character, it's just freaky as hell.
That's
Would I actually have a kind of an idea? I don't know. Would I know about tabaxi a little bit? Just because my forest has all sorts of weird ass creatures running around.
Make a nature check.
I'm actually okay at those.
Zogle's good at doing those.
I think just out of sheer confusion. Oh wait, I don't have a nature check. Never mind.
That's a 19.
19? Yeah, tabaxi, cat people. What did you want to know?
Just kind of like a general scenario. Would I be good at talking to these? I don't know. I guess it's more of a comfort question than anything else.
So tabaxi aren't like a super common race on this continent. Or on your own. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you'd be from the same continent, because it's only like 5 days boat ride. And it's not like handling beasts, so it's, I mean, you don't, like, as much as like, their culture is still kind of an enigma to you. So you wouldn't really be able to relate to them on that front. So would you be better talking to it than anyone else? Probably not.
All right, Endr, lead the way. Come on.
Endr is just very just like, she walked up like really confidently and like she's kind of like smiling there. No one can tell. She's just like, but she's just like trying really hard not to do like the anime nervous sweating. Like,
Can you make a deception check for me?
Oh god. Of course I think I have like a +1 in deception. Yep. Don't fall into the sink, please. That would be great. 11.
11. Yeah, I mean, he's, as the doorman, he's seen like plenty of nervous newbies, you know. So like, he kind of sees right through it, and his eyes are like throwing you off. Like something about those eyes just makes you feel like he can just see straight through you.
That's
and he like
all seeing eyes.
Yeah, he like looks down, like he looks from your head to your toe, and then back up, and then like moves on to the next person. And he says, "What is your business here?"
Okay, out of Endr question. Oh, okay, that means it's done. Give me a moment.
Yeah.
There we go. I have a little bit of time while that drains. So yeah, so out of question. So like, as like a guild member, would she be able to just like do her own thing? She doesn't have to like check in or anything, or does she have to like constantly be there?
You don't know anything about the Masters Guilds.
Oh, joy. Like, I think she like kind of like before like as like keeps like scanning people, she's just like, she kind of like tightens her grip on her staff just a little bit, and she's like, I am a person who how would I word this in like the phrasing besides multi-classing in the world?
Generally they would say something like, I am a master of multiple not profession, not really arts. I am a master
Skill sets?
Multiple classes. I mean, you would still know class. Most people would understand that.
I don't know. A skill set would be a
Multiple
discipline. There we get. That's a good one.
Discipline.
On her.
I feel like Endr like kind of like grips her staff, and she's like, I'm an individual with, I already forgot the word, disciplines. There we go. I'm an individual with skills in multiple disciplines, and I would like to see what your guild's about. The laughing is just me, it's not Endr.
No, yeah, I got you. He cocks his head a little bit, and sort of murmurs to himself. You don't really catch it,
Okay.
unless you're. I mean, if someone wants to listen really hard, they might, like, if you want to make a roll for it.
Can I make a roll for
really
that?
Decent passive perception, so sure, why not?
My perception's
Okay, what's your
garbage, but I want to
perception?
hear.
What is my passive perception?
Yeah, let's do it like that.
Mine's a 16.
Mine's 12, so yeah, I think definitely.
Yeah, my perception's 10. So.
Yeah, so maybe.
And my training is in perception as well.
You're proficient in it? Okay.
I'm
Yeah, I would say
perceptive
without.
boy.
without the roll, you're probably able to hear him. He's sort of whispering as if there's another person there, and he's like making an evaluation of Endr. He says, she's small, definitely not a combatant. No, sir.
Zogle is gonna be like, man, Endr, it was so amazing how you took care of those 3 hags basically by yourself and stayed alive against their flesh golem destructive behavior.
Roll to deceive.
I think Kyr'nes, for once in his life, gets the hint and says, "Oh yes, I can't believe we would not have escaped that whole spiel without her help. It was dreadfully impressive."
Since he's helping in a manner, can I have advantage?
Nice DM.
17!
Hey!
Yeah!
He also rolled a 17.
Wait, who gets that then? Is it player or?
No, the perceiver. It's like an attack, right? Like an attack. If you hit their armor class, you hit. With this, if you.
So I met?
No, because you're the one who's trying to deceive. He's perceiving through your deception.
Back.
Yeah.
You tried.
He says, words will not get you anywhere here.
Oh, but I'm good at those.
Just don't mind them.
Are you prepared to face the trial? It will take several weeks.
Weeks?
Do you not wish to become a member of the Masters Guild? If you wish to sign a paper, I hear that there's another guild in town that might take you. And he makes very pointed eye contact with Oriana.
I was gonna say, does Oriana have words about that?
Endr, you're sweet and all. We just need to talk to the people. We have something that might be contracted, and if you make the decision to come with us, great. If you don't, you're going to be known as the people who failed to be masters at anything.
I assure you it'll be a most interesting contract either way it goes.
He when you say that, Zogle, he looks at you, kind of bemused, and he says, "And who are you to determine that, Druid?"
A prince.
Prince indeed.
So a master in my own regard of a forest.
With a pure bloodline, I see.
A mastery bloodline, I suppose.
He turns and pushes open the door. He says, "Third door on your right."
Thank you.
Thank you, Zogle. Endr leans over to Zogle and kind of tugs on his cape just a little, catches attention so he doesn't slam off into the distance.
Well, knowing Zogle, he's probably going to be lifting a quick finger, hold on to that thought, and then just walking as if he's the most stoic individual he could possibly be.
Still showing off. Oh, the geese. Lovely. Thank you, geese.
Geese. So you take your the third door on your right. There is a man sat behind a desk, and he has he's kind of an older dude. He's got a big old long nose, and his spectacles are perched at the very end of it, and he's trying to read a paper.
My!
When you enter, he looks up and he says, "Oh, have you a contract to discuss?"
In a manner, yes.
"Oh, please sit. Can I get you a tea, a coffee?"
Tea. god. That was not
Probably
Endr, that was
something
me.
calming would be great, actually, yes.
Oh, yes, of course, tea. And he serves you tea.
Wonderful.
And it says,
Good.
as he walks back around the desk, he says, "Now, what is the nature of your contract?" And he sits
Dragon.
down and pulls out a. He's opening a drawer, and when you say dragon, he looks up at you. What color?
White.
His eyes widen a little.
Kyr'nes kind of like gives himself a couple points, like, "Hi, look familiar."
He looks at you, Kyr'nes, and he says, "Oh, white. Yes, of course."
I assure you, if we can unthaw everything, it should be quite the lucrative hoard.
Oh my god.
He's completely BSing. He has no idea.
He starts to write on this parchment, and he says, "Have you a down payment?"
Perhaps that would be down for discussion.
Very well. What aid do you require?
We're trying to ultimately decide on that. Whether we walk away without any violence or plenty of bloodshed, that is going to be the issue. We're not quite sure yet.
Indeed. Very well. So perhaps someone who can be useful in either of those situations. Someone who's got the gift of gab and the gift with a dagger. Yes.
I would have gone with gift of stab, but that works.
Oh, that's much better. I'm going to
Yes. Charming to a degree.
Very well. How long do you expect this expedition to be?
That's a good question.
Currently, no idea.
No idea.
Very well. Range at the end of that. May I... He gets your information. Do you... he asks for your names. Do you give him all your...
I give him my name.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll give him my
Zogle
name.
kind of started it, so sure, you'll give his.
What
He throws his name everywhere.
Don't you know who I am?
Oh.
Very well. We can have someone ready. I will give you... And he pulls... he opens his drawer and pulls out a small crystal. It's very similar to the anchor that you saw used by the Adventurers Guild, which teleported them all back to their guild hall after you killed Jess. He says, when you have arrived at your destination, you may use this to call for aid, and our representative will be sent to your location. Make sure that you do not use this inside of an anti-magic barrier. And he gives you a long list of do not use it at the bottom of a lake. Do not use it in the presence of gods of anti-magic. Preferably in no temple. Do not use it after you have engaged the white dragon.
You will void the warranty if you unapply these 3 wires.
He says,
So essentially, do it before we start the fight or discussion, and no enclosed spaces.
yes.
Basically, they're going to establish how much we have to pay them. That's why we have to summon before the fight.
Well, that, and with the dragon, you never know if someone is going to be unfortunately impaled upon arrival. It has happened before.
Thank you, old man, for your time.
Indeed. And he holds up the crystal and he says, the command word is white dragon. And as he says it, the crystal lights up.
That seems to be a very, I mean, isn't that a little
On the
common
nose?
and on the nose? I mean, I feel like that could accidentally happen in conversation at the moment.
He lowers his brow and he says, "You're all fairly well versed in magic, are you not? You must say it with intent." And he hands it over to you.
Oh, in that case, I could never have this. I hand it over to Kyr'nes.
Into the handy haversack it
I'm
goes.
not a very intentful person.
Very well. You will be charged based on the tasks which are completed. And the price is not up for discussion. We have rates. They are listed in a frame in the hall if you have any questions. And he sits back down.
Well,
I feel like
that was easier than intended.
I thought that was going to be a real adventure.
question for you, kid, not as a question to everyone in the T-poser. Would mentioning that I'm someone who is multi-classing help in any way?
You can try.
I feel like Endr speaks up and stands a little straighter, and she's like, wouldn't it all help with the knowledge that I am someone who partakes in multiple disciplines?
He leans over,
Right.
opens another drawer. All these drawers are like different drawers. Like he has a different drawer for everything down there.
That feel when you're
It's the
so
desk of
OCD.
many things.
When you're so OCD, you've got to have a drawer for every single one thing.
Yeah.
That was a terrible pun. Desk of many things.
Desk of many things.
Oh.
He splays out all these papers in front of him and takes his stamp and just like all over these papers. And sets it down and collects them. Hands you like a stack of like 10 papers. Says, "These are the forms for guild entry. If you have your guild members sign them after the fight, then they will be sufficient to surpass your trial if you wish to enter the guild later."
I'm sure the execution of a very large dragon would definitely...
If that's necessary.
Either
Right.
way,
The
negotiate.
care and treatment of what we are going to do. Probably have to murder the dragon. I'm just saying.
Every member of the Masters Guild is a master, and we trust their judgment. If they deem you worthy, then you be worthy.
Thank you.
Indeed. Have a nice day.
She puts a stack of 10 papers awkwardly in her bag. She's like, well then.
Yeah. And as we are exiting, I'm gonna go read those prices because I'm not sure what kind of crystal we have. We might not afford to be able to not die.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so basically the prices, it starts with things like simple errands, like deliveries and stuff, and those are like 10 gold within the city, and then the price goes up depending on where you're delivering to. There's dungeon-y things, and then the highest price things are killing monsters, and they have actually laid out tiers of monsters. So things like per goblin killed, it's 10 gold. Per other things, and and any kind of dragon is in their highest tier, and it's 200 gold if they have to kill it.
Okay, I want to point out to everyone we still have 3 of the gems in my sack. They're all worth 50 gold each.
So I'm looking at the pricing going, we can actually afford this. Look at us going out in the world.
Look at us.
Oriana walks up next to you and she says, we charge a flat rate, and like keeps walking.
Zogle's like standing there still going, I don't care. I don't care about any of this.
Nice.
I'm gonna look back at my friends. When we find, or acquaintances, when we're done with all of this, I'm taking a vacation.
From what I've heard, you're gonna need it.
All right. Well, now that we have this, and now that we know about how much we're spending on this, I guess the only other thing we can do is, I mean, any extra gold that we know or have, we can prepare.
Actually, how much gold do I have in my purse?
I know I have about 125 gold on me.
I have like, I don't know like how much gold like I've gotten, but if that's the case, like I haven't written any of it down because I think whenever like we've beaten a fight, minus the last couple times, I haven't been here at the end of the fight to get the gold. So I still did just 10 written. So
You definitely have more than that.
Yeah, you got a lot more than that.
It's plus. You should be, because you haven't really spent as much as anyone else. You should be somewhere in the Kyr'nes range, I would say.
Yeah, probably because I've only spent like 10 gold total, all told.
I've got 55 gold after buying the drone and giving my money and giving some of my earnings to people because, you know, I don't have a lot to use earnings on.
Cool.
So you probably have like 130 gold plus gems, probably around there.
Okay.
Sounds right.
All right. My assumption is that we should probably look for something to help against the ice. Some of us are not resistant or used to chilly temperatures.
Would we be able to use the alchemist's fire we still had because we didn't use it?
That would be really, really great if we wanted to set ourselves on fire.
It would work quite efficiently.
On other things besides ourselves, but
we're in Magic New York.
Let's go shopping.
I love that everyone calls it Magic New York, even though we have like no context for that.
Nobody knows what New York is, but somehow magically it's in everyone's brain and vocabulary. This is Magic New York. We are in the city of gods and magic. Maybe we should just go look for something for resistances. The best defense sometimes is defense.
Read.
And Oriana leans in and she says, also, depending on how much time you want to take to Rodavine, it might be prudent to hire a carriage.
Duly noted.
And not turn into horses and travel very quickly. I keep forgetting.
Also, I can drive!
Yeah!
Cool. So where are you gonna go? What you gonna do?
Where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do?
As I am a pretty decent persuasive individual, I will walk into an alchemist shop, avoiding everybody on the street as I possibly can.
Yeah, you actually choose the same alchemist shop that Endr chose when she got her ingredients and stuff. So behind the desk is a large half-orc man. He seems pretty nice.
Is it the same half-orc dude that I talked to last time?
It is.
Nice.
Hello. Is he green?
He's a little green, yeah.
Hello, green one. I require potions.
Well, gray one.
Oh, I prefer pale.
And I prefer not green.
Yeah, all right.
Well, in that case, tusked one is better for you. Like he's like legitimately like trying to figure out a title.
Bless Zogle.
He trying.
What are you looking for?
Resistances to ice. Whether that's the potions or the ingredients themselves, and perhaps recipe. Anything of that persuasion.
Well, I certainly don't give my recipes away. That would put me out of business. But I have potions of ice resistance, certainly. And he starts rooting through some glass cases. He puts 2 vials up on the stand, and they smell like
Menthol.
warm tea with honey. Nice menthol. And they look very cheery. They definitely look like the kind of thing you would drink on a cold winter's day to keep you warm.
Fantastic. How many of these do you have?
Well, I have 2. And he looks around. I've got 1 more. I've got 3.
Excellent. And how much would it take for you to make another? And what kind of ingredients would you require? I could have actually a help, as is my discipline.
Oh, well, it would take me. I have the ingredients here. If you wanted a fresh one made, that would cost. I would charge you 20 gold for that, and 30 for the rest.
Excellent. About 50 gold. I could trade you. I could make all of your stock incredibly luscious for about a year. As far as plants go.
Make a persuasion roll.
It's a 15.
Deal.
Excellent.
Yeah, so are you trying to get a discount out of that, or trying to get that to pay for it?
I'm hoping that we could trade because, plant growth can invoke growth upon plants for a mile.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. He's in. He'll give it to you for that.
I'll see you guys in 8 hours.
I was gonna say before.
Yeah, plant growth takes a long time.
I was gonna say before, like, Zogle went, like, straight to the alchemy shop. I was like, yeah, she's probably in the same boat. I mean, okay, questions for you. Would Endr herself know kind of just a recipe since she is proficient with alchemist tools and she grew up in an alchemist shop to make one? If she just bought the ingredients.
Yeah. Sure.
Cool. So I feel like she walks in and she sees Zogle and she's like, oh.
Same hat.
To the orc.
Yeah.
Turns to the orc and he's like, oh, hello again.
And he says, oh, hello, little one. Did you find everything you needed? Everyone in my world calls you guys little one, and that's totally a me thing. It's not like
yeah, everyone in this world, like, just like, oh, little one, yeah, rub it in.
She's small.
Yeah, she's just like
a small in her toes.
She's small. She's on the smaller side for humans. So,
you didn't tell me this was a tree. I can imagine like Zogle in the background with like growing plants.
As they're talking, like the big viney plant like grows up and starts like strangling him. Just
the orc.
Big Zogle.
Feed me, Seymour.
I'm helping you.
Zogle's fighting off this giant plant in the background. How can I help you?
Getting whipped around. Hi, Endr.
Sorry. Help me a second. I would like some ingredients to make resistance to cold and ice damage. Is
So
that all possible?
it's a popular commodity today.
He's got plenty of ingredients.
How many do you need to make?
Okay. Outside of Orc and Endr conversation, how long does the duration of these last?
It's a good question. I mean, it's.
I think
I actually
potions last an hour.
Oh, let me look. Potion or something. In 5e resistant to cold. Whoop.
Do I get to design Endr
You might.
winter Endr clothes?
Oh yeah, if you want to. Let's see. Gold. What? This doesn't make any sense. That's not a thing. I can't roll a 46.
We're gonna have some problems.
Oh, here we go. Roll 20. That's what I need.
Well, I mean, you technically could roll a 46.
You drink this potion, you gain resistance to cold damage for 1 hour.
For an hour, okay.
There you go.
Nailed it! It's like the first time I've nailed it in a while.
Probably enough to make like 4.
Very well. He starts to grab things off of these like massive plants. He says, he says, we have an overabundance. We're having a sale.
Imagine, like, during this, it goes from to smack it off me.
20 gold for the lot.
Alright,
Hands it over to you.
put it in my bag. Let me just take that off so that way I can remember how much I'm spending. Like, that one's actually my friend. I'm gonna try to thank you very much. Also, thank you again for last time. I know it was a weird request. Thank you.
Certainly.
And like she like goes to help like Zogle. She's like, Zogle, grab my staff.
Also, Glacier, what the hell did you just add to that playlist?
I don't know. I meant like Poison Ivy, like Batman theme, and it went, how to never have a serious Poison Ivy rash again. I'm like, no.
Yep, I'm gonna leave it in there too.
You're gonna leave it in there?
You gonna
Good.
Tell me how that goes, because I'm not listening to that.
Yeah, I have the stream muted.
Every now and again, I get lucky enough to get to torture chat somehow. So.
Oh, you want me to torture
Crazy.
chat? I got some good memes up my sleeve. Anyway.
Kyr'nes, what do you do while?
Well, they're having their little shop of horrors interaction with the plants over there. I think Kyr'nes, now knowing, that he's going to need to go to Rodvine and interact with this white dragon, he's gonna hit the bricks and he's gonna see what people in Duver know about this dragon. What's the lore? What's the chitter chat?
Sure. Yeah. Make a. I guess that's what investigation's for, right? Make an investigation.
Investigation. What's my roll on? It's +1. Okay. That's a 19.
No, 19.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you're beating the streets. You're not having a whole lot of luck until you come across a silver dragonborn woman. She looks old. She's selling like vegetables and shit.
Nice.
Just like, and she's only asking for like silvers for it.
Aww.
And she greets you in Draconic, and she says, let's see what a silver dragon. Oh, fuck it. She says, "Oh, greetings.
Hello.
You look like a spry young lad.
Oh, bless.
Care for a vegetable? You want to keep looking spry? You'd better get your carrots."
I suppose you're right. But that's not exactly what I'm in the market for. I'm more interested in, shall we say, rumor. And you look like the sort to be knowledgeable. Just generally. And maybe specifically in what I'm looking for.
Dear. Thank you. It's been a long time since anyone's given me a compliment like that. How can I help you?
Well, I know this town's sister city, Rodvine, has had in the past rumors of, well, let's put it lightly, interaction with a white dragon of what some would consider quite a bit of power. And I'm curious as to what you may know in regards to that dragon.
Her eyes grow very serious, and she tilts her head forward so that kind of dark shadows cover them. And she says, "My child, oh sweet son, if you know anything, you'll stay away from them.
Oh dear.
You're civilized, not like the folk that come from a white dragon nest."
I do try my best.
Years ago, a tyrant dragon lived in Rodavine.
This
She
doesn't
was-
seem like it's very good for our...
This is not going to be good for our health.
She was a matriarch to an army. I've heard tell that she was slain, but I don't believe it. Something that powerful, they'd have hung her head around Rodavine's neck like a chain. She's a great fearful thing, and the people of Rodavine have not forgotten her. You will not be welcome.
Oh my. I was about to ask if I should be careful. Thank you. I'll keep your advice in mind.
If you wind up in chains, just remember, I warned you not to go.
Thank you very much. And then I kind of glance at the vegetables and I say, Here, take a gold. You look like you need it. And I give her one. And I take just one vegetable, like, this is all I need. Thank you so much for your time.
She takes the gold from you and stays very grim. But as you're walking away, she's looking at it and she kind of licks her chops and she's like,
She's crazy.
She's got the gold madness.
She's got that gold crazy.
No, if we're all reconvening, I could just imagine walking next to Endr after the entire situation, both of us beaten, bruised, and out of breath, and never tell Kyr'nes.
What are we not telling Kyr'nes?
And it just goes
Now let's go see a smithy. Far away from plants. Far, far away.
You far from plants? Ooh, this sounds
Shut
like a
up,
story I'll
Kyr'nes.
have to learn.
It's been a day.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of smithies in the city.
Magic smithies.
Well, I mean, depending
There
on
is-
what you need.
There is the magic
is-
smithy that Azure went to, right?
That
There is the Forge of the Elements. That is a thing that exists in the city. They're very expensive. If you're looking for...
She found something else that's adorable, apparently.
Yeah, that's the she found something adorable noise. Speaking from experience.
If you're looking... So you could go to the Forge of the Elements if you need something like really powerful, or if you need something less powerful, there's other options.
You know what? Let's dream big, and then we can get smaller when we realize that this is too expensive.
Okay, so Azure T-poses his way on over, and you guys follow him.
She white pearls out of there.
Oh, this is canon too. Like, this is a real thing that happens in the world. Like,
Sometimes
as he's,
people will just be like.
as he's zooming down the street, like he's like whacking people with his arms.
It's like, oh dear,
Sorry, he was in a terrible... I don't actually care.
the madness of Gaben has taken hold.
Oh god.
So you arrive at the Forge of the Elements. There are 4 dwarves beating on a beautiful-looking spear on an anvil, and they hit it in such succession, like such quick succession, that it doesn't seem possible. One hammer, as soon as it is out of the way, is replaced by another. They're like super in sync. As before, there is a man sitting on one of the slopes. He's a tiefling with like half of one of his horns cut off.
Oh dear.
Yeah. There's a crowd gathered. There's dwarf callers talking about the process, that kind of thing.
Wow, this looks overpriced.
How interesting. They seem to be smithing it quite a remarkable rate. How are they not?
Maybe you could take lessons from them.
Ooh.
They look extremely dexterous.
Yeah, I could use that.
Tiefling person.
He turns from his work, or from watching their work rather, and he says, I don't remember what voice I gave this guy, but he says, yes, friend.
Excellent. We're looking for maybe armor, or maybe something that defensive against ice.
He hops up and walks to the rail that surrounds the slope that leads down, and he says, "What's your price range?"
Free to cheap. No, actually, he looks and he just goes, when I hear it and see it, I'll know it.
Very well. Well, I could prepare you a set of... Let's see. He kind of looks you up and down. Says, I'm not sure if my wares will appeal to you, sir. Not to put judgment on you, or not to judge your character. Are you a druid?
Absolutely. Metal is not my thing, as you are correct.
I apologize. Our forge deals exclusively in enchanted metals.
How unfortunate. Is there anywhere else that would sell the things that I am looking for?
Certainly. He points you down the street and he says, do you see that building? Looks like two... It looks like a U. I guess you guys wouldn't have context for that, but it's like that. With like 2 towers. The building with 2 towers. That is where we generally refer people to if they cannot afford the forge or if they're looking for something non-metal.
Well, excellent. But I would still like to look at the wares, as my friends here are also in the lookout for such items.
Well, I could forge you something. We do not keep a backstock. Everything that the forge makes is special ordered.
Right. I'm sure you've already met my friend here, and points at Azure.
He looks at him and he says, "Oh, the God Killer. Yes, I met."
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that. Anyway, this one, and also I think I have to glance over Kyr'nes, right? You cannot wear
I
metal,
don't think
or
I
you
can.
don't wear metal.
I don't think I can armor. No, just
Okay,
sorcerers
metal,
don't
yeah.
play nice with armor.
And I
I don't think the Endr can either.
Well,
Endr
he
actually
has
has
a-
proficiency in
I have
every
proficiency
armor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you're a cleric, now
cleric.
and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I technically.
You'd have to attune to the armor, but like other than that,
Yeah, I'm proficient in all armor, simple weapons, and all shields.
And I think bards can wear. Yes, they can wear metal. I just don't think he has the strength to wear mail.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't have Azure's stuff.
Yeah, me neither.
Probably these two would be the ones that could use something to assist.
Yeah, considering my
against the bite
DC
of a
is
winter.
only like, or my AC is only like 11.
Fair. He says, we could make cold resistant armor. He pulls out a little pocketbook. Armor. 5e. He says, let me consult my notes. Okay, here we go. Endr, what kind of armor might you be interested in?
Probably nothing incredibly heavy. Just
Okay,
because,
so not
like, just because my dex is like my second highest, and I don't really want to lose any of like my dexterity, considering I'm gonna have to probably to heal people if they need it.
I think if you're proficient, you don't lose out on the
yeah.
dex. I don't think.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
if you're proficient, you might as well go for the whole hog with heavy armor.
So.
Because I know your strength
But
score is
also-
good enough for it. Off the top of my head.
But if you do go like mail or
strength-
plate, you do have disadvantage on stealth because it's loud
Yeah, I
and
mean-
clingy.
Yeah. Clink, 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 clink.
Clink, 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 clink. Just a second here. Sorry, guys. I prepared none of this because I didn't think we'd even be in Dover this adventure. I mean, I knew we'd be passing through. Let's see.
What do you mean not knowing if we'd go to Magic New York? It's Magic New York! New York!
Okay.
I'm not sure because I don't feel like Endr's like the type of person to wear like heavy plate metal
Yeah.
armor. Like, plus I think she would look really awkward heavy plate metal.
Fair.
Like just like this like small little wizard in this big bulky armor.
So, okay, I found my price. Give me just a second to look at what kind of... It's still like a medium armor? Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that's definitely gonna give me more AC because Lord knows I need it.
Sure.
Considering she's wearing no armor.
Oh, I don't need stuff on the planes. Thank you. I just need equipment. Oh, equipment's in the player's handbook, isn't it?
I think
Yeah,
so.
probably.
Yes, because
Yeah,
that's definitely a thing.
Oh. Okay. Golly.
Gosh golly.
Also, for your sanity,
Uh-huh.
kid, just so you know, for like this kind of stuff, I'm just gonna send you
Send me what?
my sheet
Oh, okay, perfect.
if I can.
Perfect.
We shall see.
I mean, I don't know very many metal armors that are going to be in the medium category. Doesn't it go to like leather to be medium?
Yeah.
Been a bit.
I'm having
They
a
usually
difficult. It's not letting me send it.
This isn't equipment. Give me
You can probably send it
equipment.
to me, and then I can
Found it.
pass it along.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you on Skype.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you could use. Okay. He says, "Oh, depending on the amount of protection that you require, we could do a chain shirt, a breastplate, or a half plate, which will give you varying degrees of protection. With the enchantment that you're looking for, that's going to run you about 2,500 gold."
Excellent. However, is there anything that that just seems awfully high a price, especially since this feels like we could go elsewhere for the same stats, for the same protections?
I apologize, friend. We've been running the Elemental Forge with premium pricing for several hundred years.
It must be because I'm not from here. But perhaps there's some sort of newbie discount or something. I would just wish to have such a great quality on my person if I could, but unfortunately I can't. So I was just wondering.
Roll persuasion.
Oh boy. That would be 20.
And he says, "I would highly recommend that you go up the street and see what they have."
Damn, that's on a 20.
Yeah, that is on a 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. My apologies. I know a 20 is a good roll, but
Oh no, that's cool. I was just like, damn. Well, sorry, Endr, it's up to you. I'm gonna go over there now. Bye.
I'll join you. Thank you very much.
I think Kyr'nes doesn't exactly catch them leaving. He's too zoned in on watching the forge go. He's like, this is so interesting. They're just so dexterous. They're so good at this.
I'm gonna look at my staff and be like, Gizmo, when he's done whatever he's doing.
Staff?
You do not have the staff.
No,
That's true.
My staff, as in my regular.
Oh
I was
yeah.
gonna look at my bug because I told it to get on my staff and be like, just make him aware of where we've gone.
He like flips over to you.
Now I have a gizmo on my shoulder. The Robo Boy.
Do you guys have any more preparations that you want to make for your journey? It's we've been playing for about 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Oof, time.
I was gonna
see
say
if we
we've
can
been
get
playing
this.
for a while.
So if there's anything else that you would like to do, we probably won't like role play it. Just like if you need to get ready for your adventure, and then
Cheap cloth and/or leather armor. Go.
cheap cloth and/or leather armor. Okay, well, unenchanted.
Cold resist.
Of cold resist? Yeah. So you check in at the shop down the street, and they say that they can get you some light armor for about 500.
That's still really pricey.
That is the recommended price for cold resist armor.
Yeah.
That is the low recommended price.
I'm gonna assume try
We
our
don't
best to persuade him down a little bit.
You can try. Go ahead and roll for it.
Can I? Oh well, my persuasion's kind of garbage. So.
Probably not. That's a 13.
A 13? They say the like tiny the little dwarvish man. This shop is like it's like half magic store and half forge. Little dwarvish man says, "We can do 475."
It's still a little bit too out of our price
Well,
range.
unfortunately, as I am a druid, I'm not very money hefty at the moment. But thank you so much for your time.
I apologize. Have a nice day.
Why do I have to be so broke?
Relatable.
Well, we got
Yeah, that's super relatable, dude.
I mean, you have magic items you could pawn, but
right.
Like
that's
what?
true, but I think we're using most of them.
Yeah.
Fair.
I feel like
I can't really think of any other preparatory things besides maybe making some potions out.
yeah, Endr has to make her potions from the ingredients that she got from the store.
And are you planning on using a carriage?
Ooh, that's a good question. I can drive.
That's true.
I mean, technically speaking, as long as I can get a short rest within some time, we only need the carriage.
You don't need horses or a driver?
Well,
Yeah, we
do
wouldn't-
need probably
wouldn't
a driver, which we could.
Well, I
No,
can
we
drive,
don't.
so
Technically,
Well,
you don't have to pay for one.
Technically, we've got a horse.
So you'd be looking at just buying a cart then? Not really a
Either
rental
buying or-
kind of
yeah, I don't
situation.
need to rent it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get a cart for just like a basic cart you can get for like 40 gold.
I think considering we're going to Rodvine, Kyr'nes would be down to pay the 40 gold for that.
Hold on one sec. Let me see if I can. I need to check something real quick.
Okay.
You don't have Tal'Dorei, do you?
I sure don't.
Do I
Crap,
have
that's out of my
Tal'Dorei?
house. I just
Let me
need to
look.
know, like, what the
Tal'Dorei. I do not have Tal'Dorei.
what the count rating is on a plains cow.
A plains cow. That is not one I'm familiar with, but I'm sure that they have it.
Well, Tal'Dorei, that's where it comes from. It's a Mercer
No,
creation.
I know. I'm familiar.
Oh, I know why they have cow stats.
Well, the plains cow is like bulkier.
Oh, it's not because of the whole escapade with the bird.
Oh no, I wish that was why, but no, I'm just trying to think of like the bulkiest animal because then we can get a bigger cart, which
Fair.
not so bad.
Let me make sure on that cart price, because if theirs is lower, then I'm gonna go lower. But if theirs is higher, I won't go higher. I just like, not screwing you guys out of your money.
Thanks. I mean, we almost died for this.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that's daily. Okay.
I could actually even imagine as we were kind of walking away, I'd just look over at Kyr'nes and be like, "We could sell that staff."
Oh no! I'm not done yet.
I mean, you said you weren't attached to it.
Yeah, I mean,
I might be getting that way. It's a surprisingly good conversationalist.
Do you have the staff out as you're saying this?
Yes. I'm like as he's like, we could sell that staff. Like, no. He's got it out.
As you say, he's like surprisingly good at conversation. You hear the staff, and he says, "Unhand me, you idiot!"
I'm trying to compliment you.
You know, I'm betting it's throwing insults at you, and you're just kind of accepting it because, unfortunately, you are way too nice for your own good.
I certainly try.
Yeah, I would.
I
almost
think
feel
it'll
bad
warm
for
up to
fucking
me.
you in the teeth.
I think it'll warm up to me. It
What about
is a fire dragon after
Well,
all.
it is a fire dragon.
Hey, it
What?
was his joke.
They have what's the difference between a cart and a wagon?
That's a good question. I think a wagon's like you carry things in. A
Wagon's
cart's
actually
like
meant
kind of still
for
good, dude.
transporting people. Cart is meant for transporting goods.
Okay.
Oh, I had to
So-
back
Need
away.
a wagon.
So if you want to be transported like goods, you can pay 15 gold. Or if you want to be transported like people, you can pay 35 gold.
So we're paying 35 gold.
I guess it's 35 gold.
I'll mark a
Yeah.
35 gold off my thing.
I feel like the last thing like Endr maybe does is like buy like a cloak or like a cape or something that has like a fuzzy lining.
Yeah, sure. That
And
is,
she much like me, she grew up on a coastal town. So it's just
She
like
get cold.
anything that's like super hot in temperature or super drastically cold, she's like
yeah, you're able to get one for like 1 gold. So. Anything else that you guys want before?
Guys. And like,
Yeah.
this is gonna be the first time you've ever seen Zogle actually look legit excited about something for once. He's gonna be like, guys, I could do a thing.
You're
You
excited.
all
What
thought
can you
I was
do,
gonna be
Zogle?
You all thought I was gonna be the horse. And I counter animals.
oh, dope.
Very cool. What is there a major material cost on conjure animals?
Let me check real. Oh no, verbal and somatic.
Cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
you conjure animals.
Handy
I can
dandy.
do
Oh.
1 beast of 2 or lower, or 2 beasts of 1 or lower, and horses are like not even 1, I don't think.
Yeah, horses are.
Because if it's half, we can have 4 of them.
Nice.
Very cool. So, did you guys have any more preparations you wanted to make?
Not that I can
don't
think
do
of.
necessarily.
Okay, well then we're going to call the session there. Next week, the road to Rodavine.
Ooh, that'd be a good episode title.
It is a good episode title. If we had videos, we could title them.
Yeah, man, if we had videos.
Last time I checked, I said that you were basically putting it together anyway. You have the YouTube channel for it.
Get it done.
My YouTube's busy.
Oh,
Get it done.
congratulations! I am also busy.
I don't care who does it, but get it done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get out
I
of your
lit-
gassy pants.
Actually,
I
my
have a-
Twitch doesn't
I
have anything
have a
uploaded to it.
Well, I was gonna say I have a YouTube that's essentially empty that has literally nothing. I can chuck
Oh,
them
yeah.
on there.
I can toss you the share link for it.
Okay.
That would be good because unfortunately, after compiling everything that I do on a weekly basis, y'all know your boy's busy.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's like 120 plus hours a week that I'm shoving into
Oh,
stuff.
geez.
I hate dialysis so much, guys. Seriously,
Golly.
it's annoying.
Yeah, that is a real time sink. Anyway,
Alright,
speaking of being
well,
busy, we should promote things because we're done.
promote. Do it.
I'm gonna run my promo first because I take a billion years. Everybody knows this now. My name is Glacier Nester. I play Kyr'nes, the Dragonborn Sorcerer. We learned a whole bunch about his past this time, and it was a great time. I do YouTube and Twitch. at least that you guys can see. I also have a Jorb off in the real world, but I do YouTube and Twitch. I do a piece of original content on Monday night or on Monday for YouTube. It's usually a first impression series, and I'm currently working on the next season of that. It's gonna be great. The Twitch side of things is the rest of my stuff. Because I post VODs to YouTube. But on Wednesday nights I do a variety stream. Usually it's games. Right now we're finishing Oracle of Ages. Once we're done with that, I'll be working on some programming projects and maybe my Dungeons & Dragons dice, depending on how difficult they are to actually stream, which will be super neato. And then Fridays is my flagship show called Paper Cuts, where I read a public domain book.
It's his favorite.
It really is my favorite. I'm a big fan of the concept, and I really hope other people pick it up from me. Anyway, I read a public domain book. Right now we're reading Paradise Lost, requested by our wizard Cleric.
Love Paradise Lost.
It's a lot better than I was expecting it to be, given the archaic English. But anyway,
I
if
had
you...
to read some of it for a class last year.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So that's my spiel. That's Glacier _Nester, except for where underscores aren't allowed, and then it's Glacier Space Nester, as in one who nests on a glacier. I hope you drop by. If you do, welcome to the Igloo. We have a good time.
You nerd.
Razzle dazzle.
Here from the old razzle
That's actually
Razzle, razzle,
dazzle.
dazzle.
one of my online friends. That's her actual ringtone for me, by the way.
Nice
It's
choice.
beautiful. It's
Nice.
lovely. And it helps that it's actually one of my favorite songs from Chicago.
There you go.
I'm Razz or Razzie. I play the human wizard and now multi-class cleric Endr. I'll figure out which Gmail, Google, YouTube account that I'll be throwing it onto by next week. So I'll let you guys know next week. I have a Tumblr, which is just Razmatazic. I have no original content on it. I just reblog stuff that I think is cool. And then I have an art side blog, which is Razz's Art Corner, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'll type that in chat.
Yeah, razzsartcorner.tumblr.com. And I have TikTok. I just do goofy videos. It's not important. It's the same as my normal Tumblr, so
Cool.
yeah, that's it.
Cool. I am Kid Infinite. I stream sometimes. I try to stream 5 days a week. Not always
Good
successful,
stream.
but thank you. I didn't stream it all last week because I'm a piece of shit. But,
Sometimes you just gotta sleep. It's
yeah.
fine.
And if you like smooth-faced boys, I'm usually smooth-faced, but this week I'm not because I can't shave.
Busy.
I play Overwatch. I play World of Warcraft. I'm a big Blizzard fanboy. I play Dead by Daylight. I play pretty much whatever I want to play, depending. And I DM. So check it out.
And that leaves me. Most of you are probably already here, but my Matthatter plays were one of them variety streams. We are leaning more towards going towards like a D&D basis, but we stream just about whatever comes to mind. That sounds like fun. Otherwise, I did take something from Ty's stream, and I did get permission first because I would feel like a piece of crap if I just took it from him. But we're going to be doing TMI Tuesdays. So pop into chat,
Ooh.
release whatever information you believe would be TMI.
We do some hot goss.
Yes, you can do whatever you would like, and as long as you're comfortable, have at it. Otherwise, yeah, we just stream here 40 hours a week and trying to figure stuff out, guys. We're just trying to figure it out. And I play your good old-fashioned, angsty, non-caring druid.
He secretly loves his friends, but don't let anyone.
Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Low-key loving and low-key wants everyone to be happy and healthy. Yep. So there we go.
All right, and and Sleeping Owl's not here, but he streams sometimes, and he's our bard.
He was the one T-posing this entire session.
Yeah, he's the vulgar one.
Yes.
He's the one who acts like he wants to get in everyone's pants, but as soon as someone tries to get in his pants,
He's
not
like,
so much.
He's like, wait a second.
it's like, wait, did I really want this?
Right before we go, it's going to be kind of awkward and you guys are going to see my shoes. But this is something I'm working on for Halloween.
Right,
It's a witch hat with a bunch of wallflowers.
I love it.
I'll probably post pictures somewhere of that, so later.
Do it.
So.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys next week when we go to Rotovine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first week. I think I'm actually
We're gonna have Endr driving.
Yay!
Oh God, we're gonna die.
Magnus is screaming from a distance about the vehicle proficiency.
Vehicle proficiency. Okay. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
See
Bye
ya.
now.
Bye.